Yeah, welcome to the Conspiracy Couch Thursday night. I am your host, Alara of Sirius, here with my co-host, Loyal to the Foil. Tell me that Bigfoot playing sax was not lit, right?
I would make a Bill Clinton joke, but I think that dude has Bill Clinton in spades, man. He's way better, way better.
What's up, chat? Good to see you guys. Hi, Tyler. Hi, Robert. Above Duality, Brooklyn, Mikey, Roseanne, Nicole, Suiterbug, Mel, Detox with Tessa, Mary Berry, Divine Fractal. Yeah, Bigfoot tonight. In case you didn't notice by the Bigfoot playing the saxophone. Right? Isn't that amazing?
I thought it. Reddit.
I don't know. You're right. I don't know where you find this stuff. Reddit. Reddit.
This shit I find on Reddit, man.
Yep. Hey, Keystone. Good to see you. Hi, Mel Tulip. Hi, Christina Fisher. Yeah, here we go. Bigfoot. So, yeah, we're going to be getting into the Bigfoot topic. We're going to be taking some callers last probably hour and a half tonight. This should be the first time, actually, that we are streaming on Twitch. So we are over on Twitch now. We should be on Foxhole, D-Live, Twitch.
Here.
And here. Right. Where it's here.
If they'll leave us alone.
Man,
sorry about the AI, guys.
I don't even know what's going on in the chat, y'all. But
it hates us.
Hey, I put in the comments, I put let's get weird with the little guy doing the dab, and they deleted it.
It might have been my smack talking,
and
man.
Chef
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, Chef Matt never says anything offensive.
Brooklyn. They got Brooklyn.
And they're deleting him.
Who else? Mike Hebe.
Yeah.
I think. They got some folks tonight. It's wild. Like, for what? For what?
So,
spiteful.
I see Tyler's already in the waiting room. He looks like it looks like he's pretty excited. He must have
we'll
a legit
get some good callers.
Yeah, he must have a legit Bigfoot experience.
I think possibly even a video.
Does he really have a video? No way.
Well, yes, something. I don't know if he has it queued up.
All right, let me
have we decided to use that?
Let me pull up the Foxhole chat over here, you guys, so I can see them, because the other comments come in here, but they don't. So let me pull them up right quick. Let's see.
What up, Foxhole fam? Right, we got some good stuff going on. Well, we got the Bigfoot hunts going on in Oklahoma. We got
oh yeah, so let's show them some of the stuff we got going on with Bigfoot right now.
This is new news too. People are kind of mad. I mean, you know how I feel about the redneckitude level.
So check this out. We've got this situation. Oklahoma rep faces backlash for Bigfoot hunting season. Says he's been called an idiot. They're trying to hunt Bigfoot in Oklahoma. These people need to clue in.
They made it official. I think they're offering. Listen, somebody put like a $2 million bounty on Bigfoot out there, man. We should have. I think we have some pretty good videos from people across the country.
They're not going to catch Bigfoot. It's not happening because
So what do you think it is?
Bigfoot
Tell
can
me what,
teleport. Bigfoot can teleport. I
with
haven't.
with tech or on his own, or how does this work?
I
Tell
don't
me what
know.
your theory is.
I can tell you what the law of one says Bigfoot is. You know,
Enlighten us.
if you type in lawof1.info and you pull up Bigfoot, let's see what the law of one says that Bigfoot is. We'll let you in
Alara,
and just
right?
Okay.
Reference
So
to law of one. Here we go.
yeah, there's a lot of wisdom in the law of one, and a lot of people are scared to read it. And there's a lot of good information in that book, right?
There is good
So
information.
there's a reason that people, what's the word for it? There's a reason people are so into that book, because there's information in there that you're like, huh, what? And it it resonates.
For those of you that don't know, in the 80s, there was an experiment being done where a woman was channeling. And basically, they had got on tape recorder, and now they've transcribed into a text quite a bit, voluminous amount of material from.
But I don't even like, I put the law of one in a separate category from other channelings. And the reason I do that is because those people were calling in heavy like spiritual protection. And they describe the whole process and document it while they're doing this book. And other channeled stuff, I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But that book,
she did, in fairness, she did call in, with the protection of Christ and had different.
And there's information in there you just cannot make up, dude. I don't care how smart you are. I don't. There's no way you could just make all that up. It's just there's no way.
Oh, I definitely don't think she made it up. You know my theory.
Yeah.
I don't think she made it up. I just don't necessarily trust all channeled material.
I understand, and I understand your perspective, but
but
this, so far that I know of, this is the only book that gives us information about what Bigfoot actually is.
But that's what it is, guys. In case you didn't know, that's what it is. That's what the law of one is, and it covers a ton of stuff. I mean, from the origins of the universe to the freaking Bigfoots. So
people's experiences, which we'll go over here in just a second, seem to line up with what the law of one says Bigfoot is, right? Okay, so it says Bigfoot is, all right, so they ask, let's see.
I think the important part is that 9.18. Is there a particular race of people on our planet now who were incarnated here from second density? And so in the law of one, when they're talking about second density, they're talking about
animals.
Animalistic, but with consciousness, but not our particular level of consciousness.
We're third density human beings. We have a more evolved consciousness. And yeah. So, okay, it says, there are no second density consciousness complexes here on your sphere at this time. However, there are two races which use the second density form. One is the entities of the planetary sphere you call Maldek. These entities are working their understanding complexes through a series of what you would call karmic restitutions. They dwell within your deeper underground passageways and are known to you as Bigfoot.
Cave dwelling, tunnel dwelling. Now, there are a lot of tunnels, to be fair, especially out west where we get a lot of these.
That's where the Bigfoots live, and they're very elusive.
Well, I mean, I think we got Yeti in the mountains. We got, in the Himalaya, there are some Yeti. We've heard Squatch reports, even in some of the like swampland and whatnot out, even southeast coast of the U.S. I think they're probably a dispersed race, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. So it says they're from Maldek. So Maldek blew up their planet. Right? So Foyle and I were theorizing about this earlier. So they blew up their planet. So according to this book, they're here doing karmic restitutions of some type in these second density vehicles. But then what was the second part that it said that there's other, but this part, it gets too heady. If I even try to read this, it's going to be like, I have to read it 25
that maybe
times.
There's another type of Bigfoot that's here in a genetically constructed body, in a second density, genetically constructed body to be able to exist here. And I was telling her that kind of makes sense to me, because like when we look at and I'm just going to make up a planet here. Okay. Zebulon 5, right? Like if we were going to take our being to Zebulon 5, like clearly, if say they breathe methane and have silicon based life forms, we can't exist in that space, but we could send the precursor chemicals to genetically create a body that would be fit to the environment. And there has been some suggestion of this in scientific circles, amongst other things, like sending robots with, that are linked to our consciousness, or that connect by way of some sort of mental connection that we could control then, like almost like a drone, or we could grow a body that's constructed to be able to survive in whatever the environment is. So, I mean, I could see where that would make some kind of sense.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a very Foil. Yeah. No, that was a great speech. I loved it, Foil. Great job. You get it. Yeah, you get a golf clap and everything. So yeah, should we, Tyler, I don't think he'd be rolling up this, or does he want me to let him in because he's got to do something, or I would imagine. Tyler, do you need me to let's just let Tyler
in. You want to jump in? Should we put the call? Did you put the call in?
Yeah, all the call-in information stuff's up there. I wanted to go over show them some of this other stuff before, but let's go ahead and let Tyler in, because I think that might be what's going on.
Oh, did he call in already? Is he waiting?
Yeah, he's already in the waiting room.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
He's like ready to tell his story.
Right?
Like,
He must have got something good.
I got the answers. All right, bring it.
Let's do it. Here he comes.
Woohoo!
Tyler Koala, welcome to the Conspiracy Couch. What's going on? Have you had any of your comments deleted tonight yet in my chat?
Hang on, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Hey, Paula. Hey, Debbie. Hi, Brad.
Oh, Brad.
Jace, what's going on? Good show earlier, guys. I love that new shirt, Tyler. That new shirt is awesome.
What's up? Thank you.
Yeah.
Simple.
Oh, look at that. That's snazzy, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, is that symbol like similar to what that one lady had?
No, this is just a double hexagon.
Gotcha.
No, this is I mean, I guess you can give it whatever meaning you want.
That's all that matters.
I like
what meaning you assign to it, right?
Look, I got your shirt on tonight.
You do. Looks
Look
good on
that.
you.
Rockin' Journey to Truth.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so I want to play a clip real quick before we jump into your experience, Tyler. Let me move over to the clip real quick.
Wait, which one is it?
You won't see it because I have a different screen set up. You'll only see it on the internet. You won't see it in the thing. Okay.
I'm watching on the internet, so
okay.
I can see.
It's coming up right now.
Are in fact non-human intelligent alien beings.
What really interests me are some of the weirder aspects of the Bigfoot phenomenon, where people have claimed to have seen these creatures and they've sort of vanished in a flash of light, or they've literally just almost dissolved, or they've been seen in conjunction with strange little balls of light flitting around the woods, sort of the size of tennis balls, maybe sometimes the size of a basketball, and the creatures have been seen in almost exactly the same location and the same time. But then you have other cases where people have claimed to have seen sort of huge objects, flying saucers, UFOs, in the areas. For example, in 1973 in Pennsylvania, there was a huge wave of Bigfoot/UFO activity throughout Pennsylvania, predominantly in like the forested areas. And Stan Gordon, a researcher who's still in the field today, did a lot of really good research into that. And you know, in some of those cases, they weren't talking about blurry lights, or they were talking fuzzy lights. They were talking about solid craft of some sort of kind.
Yeah, so, you know.
He brought up some interesting points.
He did bring up some
now, you have a video,
points.
don't you?
Well, it's so if I play a video, will the audio come through?
It should.
For the audience?
It should. I think so. I should be able to make you a co-host so you can share the screen. Let me do that real quick, if I can figure out how to do that.
Well, I mean, there's so many theories on what Sasquatch is, right?
Yeah.
And you have the mainstream finding Bigfoot people who think it's some type of undiscovered ape or primate, you know, and then that's what they're looking for. But then there's the multi-dimensional aspect, what you guys were talking about, which I lean towards just from my own experiences.
Right. Go ahead, Tyler. You can share the screen.
So I have to preface it a little bit, but all my experiences come from East City for the most part, besides some stuff I've heard in the woods here at home.
No, that's Pacific Northwest, right? For those that don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Washington State. You know, British Columbia, you know, up above that, it's where like the heavy, dense, you can fly over it for days and not see anything but woods, you know. That's where a lot of sightings are, but they can be anywhere. Like there can be in your room. Like you can like just like if they float around in those orbs like that guy said, they can be anywhere. And people do, like they channel them, they call them in on them just like a regular ET, and people claim to communicate with them that way. I've never done that, but people claim that. Anyway, so last year I have like a whole series of events at ECETI. But last year, this video I'm going to show, I was there. I stayed a few days after the conference. The last night I was there, it was like 11 o'clock. I was going to bed. I walked the path of intention by myself, and I just got out to the back, towards the end by the field. You know what I'm talking about, Laura?
Uh-huh.
I was just standing out there by myself for like an hour. It was so beautiful and peaceful and pitch black, you know? And Ben Chastain ends up shooting me a text. He's like, "Hey, you still awake?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually I am." So he's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, I'm out here by the field, blah, blah, blah. He's like,
Yeah, I was
"Don't
in
move."
bed, huh?
Yeah. This was late. This was after midnight by the time he messaged me. He's like, "Don't move, I'm coming." And then him and Rachel Ferris, I guess, they came strolling up, and we asked for permission to go to this. We asked the Sasquatch for permission to enter this part of the property where we knew we weren't supposed to go unless, because it's like their home. So you wouldn't want somebody just stomping, breaking into your home. So you do it politely. So we asked for permission. We immediately saw an orb, like right in front of us. We took it as a sign, like, yeah, you can come. So we climbed the fence. We go back towards this, what's described as a vortex, where they're seen to be coming in and out of all the time. So we go back there, and it's getting to be like, we're out there forever. It's like 2, 3 in the morning, you know, pitch black. We have, the only thing you could see is like if you have a flashlight or the night vision on the camera. And Ben just happened to be filming when I literally felt a hand on the center of my upper back.
Yeah.
And I turned around because it scared the shit out of me.
I bet.
And I was like, "Ben, did you get that on camera?" He's like, "I did." When we played it back, you could actually hear 3 footsteps behind me. And as I turn around, this like orb goes right past my upper back. But you hear crunch, crunch, crunch. And it's in the video. It's only the 13-second video, but I can play it a couple times. Everybody needs to have their volume up if they want to
That's
hear
wild.
it. So let me share it.
Yeah, they should be able to hear it. Exciting.
It's crazy.
A
lot of people don't know that you know that Bigfoot can do that. Oh, cool.
Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Rachel, right?
Yeah, and this is me. This is about 3 a.m. I don't know if it matters.
Man, I missed all the fun. Why did I keep having to go to bed early? That place, that place puts you on a vibe. You get tired. I had to go to sleep. The energy there is intense.
Yeah, if you're not used to it, it is. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it matters if my computer volume's up or not. Should it?
I don't really know. But yeah, I would turn it up just in case if it's a low video.
All right, so
the anticipation's killing me, Tyler Koala.
So you're gonna hear literally directly behind me. There's like crunch, 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 3 footsteps.
Okay.
And then a orb pass above my back, and like we all get scares the shit out of all of us.
Who's shooting this? Ben Chastain?
Yeah, he just happened. He was just walking around with his camera and just happened to catch this.
Yeah, well, weird things happen to him all the time. Yeah.
Prior to this, we had something thrown at us, by the way.
Oh, that's wild.
Yep. Bigfoot.
Couldn't see what it was because it's literally like, imagine that light not being there. It's black. So when we heard something like bounce on the ground near us, we didn't know what it was or where it came from. All right, you ready?
No, we need more build up, Tyler.
Okay. So if you can't tell, I'm wearing a black now.
You guys ready out there? Can I get a 1? You won't get a puffin this time. You get Tyler's Bigfoot experience.
Hopefully you can hear it. Let's see if you can even hear it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Some of these are bugs because I am seeing them.
Ben's decoding it.
Listen, right here.
Okay.
Okay, so
Whoa.
it's way better. It's hard to hear unless you like really have it up.
Oh,
But if you,
when you said it to me the other day, you could hear it.
Can you
Yeah,
guys
Definitely hear
can
it.
you guys hear it out there? I don't know. Will you play it again, Tyler? I'll
Yeah,
shut
I'm
up.
gonna mute my mic and yeah, right.
Oh yeah. Okay. Some of these are bugs because I am seeing them in the light, and some of them are not.
Oh, whoa.
you not hear the crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you-
totally saw it come up. I mean, it was phased out, but I saw it roll up on you. That's wild.
We'll do one more time. Just for
Whoa,
anybody.
yeah.
One
play it
more
again.
time.
Oh yeah. Okay. Some of these are bugs because I am seeing them in the light.
Watch it by his backpack, guys. You see that?
Something. Well, there is like an orb that passes by in my backpack, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. So earlier that day, I was at the conference hall watching somebody, whoever was speaking at the time. There was no seats left. I was standing in the doorway, and I felt somebody poke my neck like hard, and I turned around, and nobody was there. I thought somebody was messing with me. I'm like, okay, that's weird, because that happens all the time out there. People claim they have their hair pulled, or they get nudged, or whatever by something. So my neck was poked, and I was like, what the hell was that? I just kind of brushed it off. And like a minute later, like a really heavy tap, like boom, boom on my shoulder that was unmistakable, like on my backpack strap.
Yeah.
And I turned, and literally no one's standing there. So it was like they're messing with me. And then that night we went out and that happened. And what I felt when I turned around, the reason I turned around like I did, I swear to you, it felt like somebody put their hand on my upper back. Like I felt an actual hand.
You could tell you felt something. You jumped, and it's
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
be
He
like
jumped.
the energy there has got to be crazy. You've got people coming all the year, all the time, wanting to see things, wishing
Well-
to see things, praying to see things, summoning things. Like
Foil.
Yeah.
On it, truthfully, I went out to do Fallen Gong for the first time. I had never done it. I was out there with like 3 or 4 people doing it, and I don't, and I went to leave to go to the bathroom. Were you with us, Tyler? I don't think you were with us when we went to go do
No.
that. Okay, so I went to go leave to go to the bathroom, and I come back and I saw 3 orange orbs. Now, were those Bigfoot or not? I don't know, but I feel like they were. You know what I mean?
They could have been. Yeah.
I feel like
definitely.
they were attracted to what we were doing energetically right there, and they were checking it out or checking out my vibe,
I mean,
man. I don't
it's
know.
absolutely true that like if you look at UFO sightings and Sasquatch sightings, there's a correlation between the increase
Absolutely.
in UFO activity and the increase in Sasquatch sightings, not just in Pennsylvania. This holds true across the country. So, I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, Paula, this was Eddie Seti, she asked. Yeah, I was just there a few weeks ago, and it was like we had 1.5 feet of snow on the ground. It was coming down heavy.
Oh, I can bet.
Everybody was in for the night, and it was freezing outside. I was like, I'm not tired. I want to go explore. So there's a back 40 to that property that really nobody gets to explore. But I just went hiking out there. I bundled up, put my boots on, flashlight, 1.5 feet of snow. I'm stomping around. What?
I
Laura?
just want to say, pilled by the rabbit over on Foxhole says, I believe I saw Sasquatch at East Eddy Ranch.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yep.
But I was out there stomping around by myself. It was, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night. It's not that late, but everyone was in for the night, and I'm out there by myself, which is kind of eerie. And I hear this loud vocalization, like not too far in the distance. I mean, just like this, like the yells that you hear on TV.
There
like
are hundreds of videos with that sound. Yes.
Yeah.
I wish we had one of
And-
those.
all my hair stood up on my body. I immediately took my gloves off. It was like 5 degrees outside. I took my glove off to start recording it to try and I did a response and then trying to get something back, but I never got anything back. But I wasn't mistaken. It was either a person or a Sasquatch. Something yelled. It was pretty, I don't know. Just the energy out there is crazy.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, I wish it'd be cool to have like a real legitimate 3D, but it kind of seems to me like people that see that, the ones that are going and seeking it, usually have like the orb experiences or getting touched or tapped or that kind of thing. It seems to me the people that see them physically, it's usually accidental. Like they roll up and that's the way it appears to me just from watching a lot of, stuff on Bigfoot experiences. So
do you guys give any credence to the idea that this is maybe some kind of a primate or, I don't know, proto-human or some sort of a genetic anomaly or?
I used to think that's all it was, but anymore I'm kind of leaning towards the multi-dimensional aspect of it.
I think it might be the physical vehicles we had before we were altered to be what we are now. I think it might be that. I'm just talking about the physical vehicle, like that's what I think maybe we were before we were altered to become what we are now. So
you think we were the Bigfoots and they came down and they...
Not necessarily. I think it's complicated is what I think. And I really don't know much, but I do think that at one point we looked kind of like that, I don't know.
I don't doubt that.
Well, they claim to be able to like trans teleport or whatever they call it. Like they can jump in and out of dimensions. Well, there's sometimes where like the people, like a town has a constant sight all the time. They're constantly seeing the same Sasquatch. Everyone's seen it. It's my understanding from hearing certain people talk about it that if they're injured or if they're sick, they lose that ability and they get until they're better. So sometimes they get
this
stuck.
Is a physical ability, not dependent on
interesting. That's interesting theory that they're
that makes sense,
right?
So they can't actually phase out if they're injured or if they have to be like healthy, right? I don't know if this is true. Just somebody was explaining this. I forgot. Actually, I heard it on Cosmic Disclosure. They were talking about it, but way back then, they said, if they're injured, that they can't phase out, so they're stuck in that area, and then they have to really go into survival mode and build these huts and like figure out a way to hide and all that stuff. They can't just phase out.
Well, that would make sense.
Somebody else came on, but I can share one more video from ESETI from last.
It's just Lieutenant. I can let him in with both of you in here. That's fine. Go ahead.
Alara, I sent you a couple of the sound videos also.
I wanted to show you guys too that this Bigfoot dude on YouTube and see what you think of him and what he's doing.
That's my guy.
Welcome to the Conspiracy Couch, Lieutenant. Oh, I get a salute. Look at that.
Look at that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Tyler's still in control of this show at this point, so
that's all right. Take it away.
You're gonna have to roll with it. Yeah.
Take it away.
Now let's watch Tyler's My Movie. Let's watch that.
Yeah. This is the only way I actually have it right now. Hang on. All right. Pause it. You don't need to hear this one. So there's an orb that comes in over James's head, flies over his head and flies all the way to the camera. It's after we just set an intention to call in some orbs. Yeah, this is really cool. You see it above his head?
Yeah, look at that guy.
Right, and it floats and comes all the way up.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, that's definitely not a bug. I was going to say a bug at first. That is not a bug.
Well, if you watch closely, you can see where it comes in. It comes in like right up here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. And it flies over his head and comes up. We'll watch it again.
Yeah, when it gets up close to the camera, you can tell for sure. It looks like that one that came out of my closet.
Yeah. Foyle's got ghosts at her house.
Oh, it's crazy. So bad. It's so
there it comes. See, there it is above his head.
That's legit an orb right there. It's checking both of you out, too. It's saying hello.
Yeah. Anyway, that is just something I caught out there. Anyway, so I have a few more experiences from oh shit, am I still sharing my screen?
No, you're not sharing your screen anymore.
Oh, I gotta figure out how to back out of this.
Okay, so while you're doing that, I want to see what you guys think about this, but you'll have to it won't show up in this. You'll have to just watch it on
Is this internet. Peter Kane?
Yeah, what's up with this guy? What's going on here?
Okay, this is my guy.
Which video should I play, Foyle? Which one?
Oh, you know which one I think. The funny one.
Which one?
The last one I sent you. the one with the penis.
Oh, the penis one?
Oh, yeah.
Does it say penis in the title, Foyle? No?
It
Yes?
surely does.
Let's try this one first. Hold on.
He claims his father had got a Bigfoot in 53, I think, and he's kept it on ice the entire time.
I've
And
seen
I
that.
think this is it. Hold on, I think this is
every
it.
once in a while, he breaks out a piece of
Foot
it.
that
He
we
says
have
this-
are the physical proof of Bigfoot, September 23rd, 1953. He was with his friend Morty and a hunting guide. This is one
Yeah,
of the
I've seen-
feet
Is
that
this it?
is physical proof of Bigfoot.
That's him.
And I wanted to show it to you all. Now, this foot has been examined by many major universities have looked at this foot. DNA has been run. Everything that comes back on the, as far as DNA goes, it just says unknown life form. They really don't.
You guys familiar with this guy? What do you think of him?
Yeah.
What do you?
He
what
has
do you-
he has a head too. He
Oh,
doesn't.
he
just have a-
does.
Hold on, I'll
He
show
has
you the
all-
head. I'll
all
show
the
you the head.
pieces.
Let's see
You
what
gotta
they
get
think.
the penis, man.
I don't know where
I-
the penis is, Foil. Oh,
It's
right
the
here.
last
Here,
one I
here,
sent you in
here,
Telegram.
I got
That
it.
shit is so
Here's-
funny.
We'll play the penis and then the head briefly.
This has to be a joke. I don't know.
From women.
You are
but
fake
mostly
news.
Guys.
Yeah.
Now, what the
That's what I
plan is here is I'm going to let it defrost.
Good
You
Lord.
can see that it's totally frozen. And so I'm going to let it
gets better.
defrost. And then I'm going to use some
This guy can't be
voltage
for
and
real.
see if I can get some semen out of the Bigfoot penis.
Oh,
my
my
That's
god.
the plan. You know,
Wait.
will it
Bigfoot
work?
porn?
I'm not quite sure.
gotta
but I gotta
skip
try
through a
something.
little bit.
I figure that if I could get this is gonna work. You know, I'm not a veterinarian. I'm not. But I don't see why we can't just, you know, hook
I've
these
never
up
seen
to the ball sack area.
I'm not sure I can watch
on the
this.
right and left
What is
testicle,
happening right now?
Give it a little
Skip,
bit of
What's gonna
juice
happen?
and
through
maybe
a little bit.
massage
Oh,
the
it's great.
testicles. Here it is. Let me get the camera. I can move the camera around. You can check it out. Hang on. You can see it's totally frozen. It's the ball sack. The balls have like alopecia or something.
Okay, that's enough of that. Fascinating. Oh, he's got a head too, you guys. So let's see. Here's the
Oh
head.
my god.
I know. It's
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, that's funny. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
I
Is
mean,
this it? No, this is
GPS.
these are the
Unless
rednecks. Foil loves rednecks.
looks
in
like
the woods
he's-
looking
Hey.
for Bigfoot. She loves that.
I mean,
love-
is that flaccid or is that hard? And was it frozen hard?
Let's
It
not
was
you know,
frozen, right?
Let's not decode that.
Apparently.
Let's say we did and let's not. How about that?
Let's break it down.
Here's the head right here.
It's a horrible
it's-
show. And it's
Allegedly.
derogatory to the Bigfoot community. This is a fact. It's about entertainment. It is not about science. It isn't. They make it very clear. It's all about them going in the woods and talking BS. They're talking about stuff that they don't.
Okay, so I want to make sure we have
Listen.
time to get to the callers. So we'll.
Peter Kane he's the one with Sam the Raven. I keep telling you, for Nature Break, we got to bring on Sam the Raven, man. They're saying Bigfoot penis was censored.
That looks more like a giant, to be honest, than
What do you mean the Bigfoot penis was
Something.
censored? Like
I
just
don't
now
know
when I
what they
played it,
mean.
it was censored, guys?
No, I saw it.
Oh,
I'm watching.
I saw it.
it
yeah.
wouldn't surprise me considering what they're doing lately. All I said was "Let's get weird" in the chat, and they took my comment away, and like three
That
other
ha-
people's comments. I don't know what's, I think that day, and I was in your chat above duality. I done did something there. I don't know. They don't. The
yeah, I probably
overlords.
banned you.
No, the overlords aren't very happy with me at the moment. Apparently. So
Yeah.
yeah.
They hate us.
Yeah, well, speak for yourself, Foil. I didn't really have that big of problems till today, but apparently I have some problems now. But yeah, they definitely hate you. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, man, I think they're mad.
That head.
right.
I'm sorry. I don't. That head just doesn't.
No, I don't.
Doesn't do it.
That does
Doesn't
not
do it for me.
resonate.
Yeah, it
No.
doesn't
Doesn't do it
resonate.
for me.
It
The
doesn't.
dude is
neither-
nuts. Like, the dude is
Yeah.
legit nuts. I mean,
Neither of the heads we just looked at.
now, in fairness, he's involved in all sort of animal husbandry. Like, he raises animals, whatever, but he's been doing this Bigfoot stuff for what, several years. He's been putting these videos out, and he swears up and down. His dad caught it in 53, and they froze it, and every once in a while he just breaks out a piece and starts talking about
But how did he freeze the penis?
He lost me at the
hard?
penis.
Like,
I
what-
don't know. They
what
put
did he
the
do?
whole
Did he
big
get
thing,
excited and then killed it?
right? Must have.
Okay,
But
so
I mean-
David, would you like to share with us your Bigfoot experience?
Please share.
Which one?
Oh,
Oh, he's got it like that.
Right?
Can you
probably
top
don't know
Tyler?
this about me, actually.
He's
So
got video
apart from-
evidence.
No,
I've got
yeah.
tons of video. I got tons of video trackways. I got tons of photos of trackways. I got tons of stuff, but I won't get into all that. But I will share with you that what you may not know is, apart from the secret space program, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, which is really the Queventalia race, in my opinion, I'll get into that.
The what race?
Is probably my most researched topic outside of the SSP.
Oh,
Well,
well
perfect
then,
for
hey,
you calling
it's not,
in, right?
Yeah, it's not
So-
my research topic, so take it away,
So-
Lieutenant. Break
Right,
it down.
get it.
Yeah.
In order to really understand this, you got to do what Tyler did. You got to get out into the field and you've got to experience some of the phenomenon, because this race, now I've not heard it called this race anywhere other than in Ashiana Dean's books. If you read her Voyages 1 book, she talks about the intruder races. She talks about the guardian races. Now, Phil Gruber, who we had on Tuesday on the show, was married to Ashiana, and he was going into this a little bit. You got to go back and watch that. And I think Alara, you were in that chat. But anyway, the guardian races, and this goes back a long, long time. It goes back hundreds of thousands of years, and she really gets into why the guardian races, the Emerald Covenant, came here. Now they include the GFL, they include lots of different races, but one of them is, and I'll show you if I can show you something on here.
Oh, I gotta make you a co-host too.
Okay,
Man.
yeah,
Right?
host
break
me
it
up.
down.
Yeah, let me
Host
hold
me
on.
up.
Now, is
Let me
this
give you the
when you say the
superpowers.
guardian races? Are you talking about like the same as in like Law of One, how they're talking about the guardians had allowed some of the Bigfoot here?
Probably, I'm not actually sure, but I can. Well, I would postulate that there are a number of guardian races groups. I mean, there are so many ET races out. I mean, the GFL are a guardian race group, right? The good ones. So this one specifically is called the Emerald Covenant. Now, the Emerald Covenant relates to a lot of the seals for a lot of the stargates and portals. I mean, there's a stargate and portal highway here in this part of the galaxy with Earth. At least there was until we moved into this part of the galaxy. But there is on Earth. There's a massive stargate system. It's crazy. Okay, hold on.
So are
Can
the
I share
Bigfoots
something?
getting dropped off in UFOs? Are they coming through? How are they?
I'll get into that. I'll get into that. Hold on.
Is this the same group that claims that they crash landed here 90,000 years ago and they got stuck here?
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
This is part of this is a long book. Guys, you got to go
These
read it.
are the
It's extremely
Guardians.
complicated.
So one of
This
the
is some of the guardian races, but I'm just going to go focus on one of them. Okay, I'll
Okay.
get off track.
Shut
This
up,
guy
Alara.
on the right here.
Yeah.
As soon as I read this, I was about 3 years into researching the Sasquatch phenomenon. I saw this picture. I'm like, holy shit, that looks like some form of a Sasquatch, right?
That actually looked like Peter Kane's Sasquatch head.
It does
Right.
look like
So
Sasquatch.
this is what Ashiana calls the Queventalia Race. Okay, Queventelliliur.
All right.
Now she goes on to describe it. I won't get into the thing, but I wanted to show you that because she describes them as shepherds of the forest. They're part of the guardian races here that came to Earth a long, long time ago to protect Earth's forests. Now that, of course, that makes sense. But let me sort of tie that into.
That's
go on.
what the Law of One says, that they're here collecting. They're doing some kind of scientific work for.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got lots of different races here. You've got some of the Arcturians, you've got some of the insectoid, the mantid beings, etc., etc. But anyway, so when I moved to North America, we don't have any of this shit back in the UK. The worst thing that we have in the UK is a badger. Might give you a little ankle bite.
Really?
You know, worse than if you annoy Alara. Give you a nasty little ankle bite. But apart from that, we didn't have any of this stuff in the UK. So when I moved to North America, in 2011, I was fascinated by this Bigfoot phenomenon. So I got right into it. I've spent thousands and thousands of hours researching this. And there's only really a handful of really good, credible researchers. And then I got out into the field about 3 years ago and started tracking one. And I'll get to that in a minute. Now, from my perspective, from all the things that I've heard, all the eyewitness accounts, just from the research side, without being on the ground, there's multiple species of this race all across the planet. The Australians have the Yowie, the Russians have the Almasty, there's the Yeti up there as well.
Sure.
North America has a North American Sasquatch.
Skunk ape.
And there's the
Right.
Orang-Pendek in China. There's many of them, right? And they're different sizes, different characteristics, but they all kind of seem to be of the same race. Now, this is an extremely highly developed conscious race. They're very, very highly developed ESP, which means, when you say that they're a multi-dimensional race, I mean, we're a multi-dimensional race. We can tap into that. So they can phase in and out of our third density. It seems like there's so much evidence of that, of whether it's the stuff that Tyler experienced, whether it's the single footprints in snow and in mud with nothing else around, no trees. There's just so much. So my experience with them is they're incredibly benevolent. They're incredibly friendly. There's a group of, there's a Zeta Reticulin group and a Ryan group. You call them the Greys. They don't like to be called that. Who I've had multiple connections with, multiple contact with, including visitation. And you know them, Alara, as the Ponte. Now they're they're very close to a particular clan of this Sasquatch. So when you see the orbs, I'm not sure whether that's them phasing in and out. I don't know how that works, whether it's their light beings that are friends of theirs. I don't really know, but I do know they go up and down in the ships of the Ponte all the time. And there's so many discs and crafts sighted when Sasquatch are around. So many. Now,
so they do fly around in UFOs.
Probably.
And they live in the caves. They live in the caves and they fly around in UFOs and they can phase in and out.
So they don't necessarily live in the caves. Some do.
I don't think they live in the caves.
They'll move. They're in families mostly, and they have different, like we do. They have different elements to their family. They have things like watchers who go up on strategic lookout points and survey the forest and keep an eye on things. They have the female. They have kids. They have families, right? They're a race. Now, there's things that we get into tree structures and things like that. No one really knows if that truly is them or not. I personally think that it is. Anyway, so my experience with them on the ground here is I got out, I went into Kananaskis, which is quite a big hotspot for them. And I got out to the ground, was in the middle of nowhere. We hiked into the middle of nowhere and we did a little CE5, little meditation before we went out. But right away, I found a trackway. And it's so obvious to research different types of tracks: bears, cougar, elk. You can research them pretty good. When you have tracks that are, because of the gait of the Sasquatch, they have what's called I don't know what it's actually called, but it's a different gait to what we have. So they walk largely in line, right? Whereas we go 1, 2, 1, 2. They walk like that, right? So they walk one step. It's very straight line. Very straight line biped walking. It's really interesting. So the first time I went out, I found tracks in the snow with toes, with strides that I couldn't make. And I'm 6'3", I've got long legs. And we followed this particular trackway up an embankment that I had to scramble up. And this thing made it super easy. This is one of 20 experiences that I've had. So as I got into sort of researching it more and more and more and following people like Todd Standing. Some people don't like him, but he's an interesting fellow.
Yeah, I followed Todd quite a bit, actually.
He's interesting. He's very interesting. And there's so much evidence out there. And I'll finish this and I'll share one more thing and then I'll go. We got two people in the waiting room. I know. So okay. I started having fun with them. I brought marbles out. I started leaving gifts for them up in strategic places and trees where anything with hands could grab it. And they'd move it. They'd move the marbles around. They'd move the stones around. This is going on right now. I'm going to go out in a couple of weeks. I think it's a juvenile that I've been tracking because it's the foot is a little bit bigger than mine. You're looking at about a 15, 16 inch track. Yeah. But the trackways that we find are extraordinary. I've got lots of videos of them, of me trying to make the stride.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anyway, so take that. But what's really, really interesting is how you know it's an ET species is the way that the government covers it up. Now, if you listen to the insider stories of the park rangers, the wardens, the heads of wildlife and game, who have over and over and over again shared stories of, oh yeah, we hit one, we ran it over, we phoned back to HQ, and within an hour, the men in black were there. We took it back and they told us not to send, the whole cover-up thing, the same with the men in black on the UFO side. Very, very interesting correlation. It's exactly the same.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. So that's a big tie into the ET topic, right? Yep. So anyway, if there's many, many ways to go out there and interact with them now, in my opinion, you do have to be of a certain vibration to have an encounter of some kind. Yeah. I'm not saying anyone here is special. Anyone can get into that vibe, as we know. But they're a very benevolent species, but they are, I mean,
They're
some of these
playful,
creatures-
no? They're playful.
Yeah, and especially the young ones. Like I've had stuff thrown at me, like Tyler said.
Yeah, I've had
a
something
young one
thrown at
that
me.
follows me out when I'm in the mountains in Camel,
Yeah.
which will throw stuff in the stream, like will throw pebbles. Like, and guys, something doesn't throw. Bears don't throw stuff. They didn't.
No.
Right?
I had
No, they
Bears
do not. Right.
Don't throw stuff. In order
I
to
had
throw
a-
something, you've got to have an appendage where you have fingers where you pick it up and you throw it. Right? It's just common sense.
I
But
had
anyway,
a pebble. I had a pebble thrown at my thigh in broad daylight. He said
Did you?
from the wood line, as
Yeah.
while I was walking. Yeah, I didn't
I mean,
see
this-
anything. Yeah,
There's so much that's unknown. Survivor Man has actually got some very Les Stroud has got some very interesting
I
expeditions.
love watching him. I used to
He's
love
amazing.
him when I
I've
watched
actually-
TV.
I've actually met him and actually personally questioned him, had a conversation with him.
That's cool. Yeah,
So
that
one of the
dude's interesting.
most interesting videos of his, which I can't find on the web, is his Mind Speak video, which I've had a little bit of, but not the way he had it. Have you heard his Mind Speak video?
I don't know.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so they went into an area to research. They were leaving the area at night. It's about 1 or 2 in the morning, and all of a sudden he had this telepathic connection, and there was this voice in his head, clear as day. And he shares this on interview. I'll have to find it.
Yeah.
And he says that they said to him, "If you would like to see us, we're ready to show ourselves to you now. Would you like to see us?" And he was like fucking frozen, right?
Yeah.
Frozen, hairs on the back of his neck. I mean, what do you do when you have these experiences? It changes you. And he actually said, "No, I'm not ready." And he carried on hightailing it out of there. He said that on camera. He's got an interview of that.
That's what Foyle would have said. She'd been like,
Yeah.
nope.
I
No,
wouldn't even said
no.
nothing. I'd have been like,
Well,
gone.
when you're out there and it's dark and you've got these creatures which could be 13, 14, 15 feet tall.
Well, that's the thing. You ain't gonna catch me in the dark in the
Right.
woods.
But that, I mean, I don't know anyone
I've
that
asked
can
him.
say, "Sign me up. I want to see him in the dark." It's
I've-
that would freak me out.
I've asked
Oh,
him,
I know
and you were
Lawrence
the
said.
inspiration, Tyler. I've outright asked him. I've been like, look, I'm cool if you guys manifest. I'd love for that to happen. That's awesome. But just don't do it at night. You know what I mean? Can you do
Yeah.
it during the daytime? Because I'll
Yeah,
have
or
the
when-
I'll
when
have
you're
a
in the
visceral
shower,
I'll have a visceral
know?
reaction to some being popping up at night. Whoa, like, could you at least show up at noon or not? Not
Right.
in the middle of the
That's
night
what I
like you
was-
did to
yeah.
Tyler. Yeah, just not do that. That's not a good
Yeah,
idea.
but I was out setting the intention, so I was ready for it. It's different whenever you're setting the intention and asking permission and or getting their permission to approach them. It has to be done respectfully. Otherwise, these hunters, these people out hunting
That's
with their
terrible.
gun, like they can sense that what your intention is, and they're
And they
not going
know.
to show up.
Right. They
you
know. They're hip
That's
to it.
that's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
I'll share one last thing.
All right.
and
then
I'll
I got to
hop
kick
off.
you both out, gentlemen, so I can. Okay.
Yeah, he said first time I was ever there, I was there with my girlfriend at the time. We were camping in a tent and we were going to bed. It was about 1 or 2 in the morning by the time we finally made it from the Skywatch field into the tent. We're both about to fall asleep, and outside of our tent, we hear sounds like a baseball bat on the tree because we're right next to a tree. Just whack. We both sat up and looked at each other like, holy shit, like what was that? And then right after that, we heard 3 footsteps, like big 3 loud footsteps, and then a like a grunt.
Oh no.
And no more footsteps after that. No more. Like 3 footsteps. We were waiting to hear something walk away. Like we just thought it stopped. So after a while, I got out of the tent. She's like, "You're crazy." And I was like, "Well, I want to see." And I went out there, and there was this big branch sitting next to the tree that was not there before. Like whatever it used to hit the tree was sitting right outside our tent.
Tyler, they're clearly trying to
Oh.
connect with you.
Yeah.
This is going to increase, I think, your,
Yeah.
experiences with them.
I think
I'm
you
here
might have a Sasquatch hybrid child.
Right. He
Probably
probably's
did.
got every other hybrid child there is, so who knows?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Well,
Anyway.
All right. Well, yeah.
love you
let's
guys.
see.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna hop off, make room for whoever
We
else.
love when you call.
Yes,
Thank you.
of course. Thank you for sharing with us all your awesome Bigfoot stories
Right.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
and your Bigfoot footage. Good night, Tyler.
Night, guys.
See you later.
See you guys.
Keystone is asking for the link with the international numbers.
Okay, so I'm
of
gonna
course
let
I'll
in.
have.
I believe Barry. I'll let you in second. Let me see who's on this phone number call first. I believe they were right before you, anyhow. So let me check. Let them in real quick. Welcome to the Conspiracy Couch.
Hey, it's Barry. How are you?
Oh, Barry,
Hey.
I see 2 of you. I see this phone number, and then I see another.
Let me get on Zoom and get off the call.
Okay, let the
Okay.
other Barry in. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so somebody said they need the link. I'm going to put that out in the chat.
Yes, please, because I don't have it somewhere.
Could you greet Barry when he gets on while I do that link?
I certainly will. And Brooklyn, yes, I would be
Mute the stream.
so gone.
Mute the stream, Barry.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
I'm working.
Welcome to Conspiracy Couch, Barry. Nice to have you with us.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good.
Got
good.
some
So,
got some Squatch stories for us?
Yeah, similar to Tyler's, and actually, me and him talked about this when we were in ESETI when I met Alara and him for the first time. But the very first time I was there was at the end of 2019, and the very first night I was at ESETI, it's kind of like a mind-blowing story, but basically, we were out at the Skywatch, either fell asleep or had some lost time, and there was only like 4 people left. When we woke up, James was gone. Everybody was gone. It wasn't a real busy night there. And then all of a sudden, the mountain flashes a white light, and we get hit with an energy burst, like a physical energy burst. So it was just 4 people. I just met them all that night. We all walked out to the Palladian Circle. We started meditating, and then the Squatches came in for literally 2 hours, and were vocalizing every kind of vocalization you could possibly imagine. Yelps, screeches, imitating dogs, you name it. They were doing the whole 9 yards. And me and my friend Johnny at one point walked all the way out to the edge of the fence, and we got a very strong telepathic hit saying, we'll show ourselves, but you might not like what you see. You might not be ready for it. So we actually said, hey, I think we're right. They're right about that. And maybe we're not quite ready for this. But it was amazing.
Yeah. I'd have a heart attack.
Yeah. And well, to the point too, I did like a walk of intention when I first got there. I was looking for that experience, but then to think that you could actually see them is maybe a little bit more than you bargained for at that point.
Right.
But
I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready to see a benevolent
that was my first
being.
ever night there. We didn't have a whole lot happen the rest of the time we were there. And then when I was with Tyler and Alara and everybody at the ESETI conference, whoops, still there. This was right before Tyler came into the Palladian Circle. And there was people all over the field. It was weird. I was just outside the Palladian Circle. There were people back at the fence. So if you know, Alara knows the layout there. So this was like right in the middle of the field. I saw one phase in, take 3 giant footsteps and phase out. And I could feel the footsteps, the vibration from them. It was very dark, but I could see the silhouette, the arm swing and everything.
Do they look like what we think they look like?
Well, I didn't see like visual, but the body movement, the arm swing, because it's pitch black there. But
right.
This thing, just guessing, for maybe 50 yards, it looked like it could have been 10, 12 foot high. It looked like a male, or not a male. It could be a male or a female, but it looked like an adult. Let's put it that way.
Let me interrupt.
I told Tyler that experience right after it happened, and what was really weird is it almost took me like a week to fully get the memory back. It was so bizarre because it's almost like an interdimensional experience. It's like I wasn't that I was scared, but it was like, did that really happen? And it was like a little bit of cognitive dissonance, and it took a while to sink in.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but they're very telepathic. That's one thing, and like David was saying, they're more likely to make contact with you if you're not afraid of them, because they gotta lower themselves to our vibration to communicate with us. So
Alara.
Thank you. Let me interrupt for just 1 second. I want to
Sure.
say hey to Average Joe Patriot out there. Did a great job on Keystones earlier. I know she's a lot to handle, right, Keystone? I don't know what happened to y'all's show though. It disappeared, and I'm not sure what happened there, but it was good up until the time it disappeared. I just want to thank
they pulled it down.
I don't know. It was like 15 minutes into the show, it just went down. So I have no idea what's going on. Maybe he can clarify, or she can clarify what happened. So I want to thank the super chats from last week. I had forgot to do that earlier. Spirish Malonin, Suiterbug, Christina Love, Above Duality, and Wesley, Vogue Elgis Ang. Wesley,
we love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your donation. You knew I was not going to do well with that. We'll call him Wesley V. How about that, Wesley V?
There you go.
Thank you for
Wesley
your
V.
donation, Wesley. So yes, please carry on, Barry.
that was pretty much my story. I mean, the rest of the time I was there, I didn't have a whole lot of contact with these conferences like that. There's so many people. You do a lot better. Of course, they're going to come out at night. They're always out at night. and you're going to do a lot better when it's smaller crowds too.
The one thing I've heard over and over from you guys that have called in is like the 3 footstep thing.
Yeah.
Everybody is at 3. Why is there? I wonder if there's a thing to that. Like, why is it always 3?
I never heard anybody say. I didn't. Even though I've talked to Tyler about that, that's the first time I heard him said that, and that resonated with me too. And I'm just wondering if maybe when they're phasing in, you know, they're taking 3 steps and they're phasing
David
right
said
out
the
like
same
a certain
thing.
interval
3.
or something.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but yeah, that's I remember it distinctly, and I heard it, and that was a lot farther away. Whatever happened with him was right on him, but yeah,
So
they are so prevalent there. And I got some theories that maybe they're like humans. Some are more awakened than others. Some are a little bit more telepathic than others.
Probably
just a theory. But I know from the personal experience at the ones at ESETI, I've had basically telepathic contact with them, so I know that they're very, very, and I've seen them phase in and out. So they are definitely interdimensional beings.
Yeah, I believe
when they communicate,
without a doubt they are.
Is it always that? Because I sent you over a couple of videos with the sound, Alara. I'm just curious. Like, I know you guys say that they can communicate telepathically, but it seems like when they make these sounds, you guys are describing it as like a guttural.
We're going to be just like this too. We have the same capabilities that these beings do. We're no different. We're just completely suppressed and unaware of it. But once we get aware of it, and our DNA upgrades and stuff, we start using more of our brain, we're going to be able to do the same thing these other beings do. It's not going to be a big deal anymore. But right now it's like a mystery to us. Whoa, where do they go? They disappeared. What are UFOs? That's only because our government lies to us about what UFOs are.
Definitely.
Otherwise it wouldn't be a big mystery. The same thing with teleportation and telepathy and all, we've just been completely manipulated.
Well, if they're able to communicate telepathically, why do you think they make these very guttural, very physical sounds?
I got a couple theories on that too, because I think they do that as a warning to scare off people that are, and they also can put off that really nasty smell if people are afraid of them.
Yeah.
Whereas
skunk ape.
Conversely, at ESETI, when we went some places we probably weren't supposed to, and we saw some orbs in the woods, and we got this really powerful floral smell, almost like, I don't know if it's jazz. I'm not good with that type of thing, but it's just overpowering flower smell. Didn't think a whole lot of it at the time, but then everybody kept saying that's them, giving off like a positive smell. So just the theory,
I can see that.
but I've heard a lot of people. Tyler could probably elaborate on that too. But
Jen Flory was saying she had an experience, or her child had an experience at EC. 2 young sons went for a walk with our friend. As my husband and I set up our tents along the entrance to ESETI, the boys came running up to us saying, "We saw Sasquatch, we saw Sasquatch." And it wouldn't surprise me that they would show themselves to kids.
Well, they're more welcoming, that less judgmental. Don't already have those preconceptions about what should or should not exist.
Yeah, honestly, I was terrified of Sasquatch when I was younger, watched all the shows. And I guess as I went through my awakening, I just, I started realizing more and more what they were and started connecting with them. And, I don't connect with everything, but I definitely have a connection with the Sasquatches. So
yeah, it'd be cool having that experience.
That's pretty much all I got. But
well, thank you for calling in, Barry.
Yeah, we appreciate
and sharing your Bigfoot experience. We appreciate it.
Hey, are you going to be in Florida, Alara?
No, I will not be in Florida. Yeah, I won't be in Florida, but I'm sure I will see you at another event quite soon. I wish I was going to Florida. Believe me, I would love to go to the beach, but unfortunately I will not be able to make that trip. But you guys have a wonderful time and take lots of pictures and share them with me, please.
Will do. Take care.
Okay, you too, Barry.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay. Let me see who's next here. I don't know why it does that.
There are more people. Play those videos with the sound so that the people can hear it.
All right. Who is?
Kind of wild.
I don't know if Cloaked came in here first or call-in user 1. I think Cloaked came in here first. So let me let Cloak in.
I have no idea.
Cloaked, your name is Ryan, I believe. And take lots of pictures and share them with you. Mute the stream, Ryan.
Okay. Let me get there.
Good night.
Bye.
Let me see.
Okay.
All right, I muted it.
Welcome to the Conspiracy Couch, our cloaked unseen world.
Hey, what's up?
Is your name Ryan?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Welcome,
You are
Ryan.
always out in the woods. You probably got some stories, huh?
Oh, I got so many, it's not even funny.
All right.
Yeah, I got footage I can show you real quick if you want to see it.
That'd be great. Let me make you
That'd be
co-host
great.
so you can share it.
All right.
Let's see here.
It's a video I'm actually working on breaking down right now.
Man, I got too many screens here. I mean, I'm not complaining, but how did... Oh, Foil muted herself. Word.
Yeah, I was smoking, you know.
Yeah. She knows I hate that sound. When she hits that vape and she doesn't have it muted, I freak out. Can't stand that sound. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
This is weird. I got major delay going on.
Are you watching the YouTube or are you watching the Zoom?
I'm watching the YouTube one. How do I?
It is delayed. You got to watch the Zoom call.
How do I do that? I know how to do Zooms, but now I can't hear you at all.
Uh-oh.
Now I can hear you. I can hear you now. Okay, I got you. I'm watching the Zoom one now.
Okay, that'll make sense to you.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, yeah. I was like, what's going on? All
it
right.
should allow you to share at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, okay, here we go. I got it. Well, maybe share screen. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Yes, I want to share the whole thing. So yeah, let's try that. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Because this video starts off. I got to get your guys.
Oh, he's like me. He has a million screens open like I do. I do the same thing.
Because I was working on a video, and this is why that's all open right now. But yeah, they're all pictures. All these, they're pictures. I can go through a couple of them real quick, the amazing ones. But okay, this video starts out quick. I'm gonna zoom right in about 10 seconds. It should be zooming in on them.
Show us what you got.
This is crazy right here. All right, so let me put it on full screen. So I'm gonna zoom right into these creatures. I'll pause, and then I'll because some of you are gonna see it right away, and some aren't. They're right here. And you can see them standing next to the tree. There's a group of them.
Yeah.
Now watch this one. And there's more. They're all over the place in here. This place and the structure that's in this woods is insane.
People just they need to start training themselves to look beyond just the physical. Do you know what I'm saying? I know you, Ryan. You know what I'm saying. You have to start to look at things that are only partially phased in. You got to look at the energy, not. You got to retrain your eyes. Just like when people try to train themselves to see auras, it's the same thing. You got to train yourself to see what's hiding itself from you. What's there
right here. There's one here, and then all those ones back there. But watch this, because I don't want to, because you have to find the right frame to get the right pictures, which I do for this video. Let me show you it, and I can zoom in this way.
That little branch thing.
Zoom in. All these things right here. These are all creatures. All these
the logs?
Here.
Those are logs, right?
No, they're not. They're not. They're creatures. If you can see, they're hiding as logs.
So that's a log, and those three behind it are creatures, is what you're saying.
Well, no, all of these are creatures. It's a creature here. It's hiding in the log. It's phased in the log. But they actually, like, they turn themselves into the log. It's hard to explain. But look at this. Does this look normal over here to you? Next to this, look how these branch out perfectly. This is part of their technology. But they're and then there's the one right here. You can see the face. This is like but then watch this. Let me go ahead and get back to the structures that you see here. Watch this. I go right into them next. But those are creatures, trust me. They are creatures. You think they're logs because they're disguising themselves as logs.
You're saying those aren't logs right there? The logs?
But the ones stacked up, not the ones next to the big tree. Later in the video, those logs have changed position. I can show you that image too, but these next images are going to leave you like stumping your head here. Watch the structure that I zoom into here. I didn't build this thing.
Where did you take this video?
Up in the woods, up near this off this trail, not too far from here.
What state are you in?
Washington. But yeah, this is actually right by a high school even. but it's not something the kids built. There's no way. Watch the definition of the structure. I can show you these images here of it. Like right here. Look at this. There's no way. And there's a bean standing right here. You can see his green.
Yeah, that's
green head right here.
That's a little weird right there, for sure.
And I mean, look at the structure. It's like perfect, a perfect like front end. This is a ship that's disguised as sticks. These things can project holograms, just like those logs you said are logs. They are not logs, they're creatures. And if you look back here, there's one standing here. It's a creature here that you can't see very well because he's phasing out too.
Right.
Well, that actually looks like it might be something. I imagine if they can phase in and out.
Right.
Yeah, and there's something here. I mean, this thing's and I got other images from this video, like well, this one's a good one. Look at this. This isn't from this video, but this right here in the middle, this is a Bigfoot. You can see it, black spots and white spots. Watch when I zoom in. You're gonna see the foot and the heel down here. Watch this. And then here's the
Well,
thigh,
that does kind of look.
and the
like
abdomen,
something.
and then here's its shoulder. Actually, this is a bird on its shoulder. He has a bird on his shoulder, and then this is the head. And you can see.
I know it's
stands
possible.
right over
I
the
can't
tree.
say it is or isn't. I know that it's possible though, and I know there's cloaked things around us everywhere, all the time.
Yeah, then there's this thing. You can see that it looks like there's an orb right here. This orb flies across the screen, but you can see that the bean is walking right here through the tree. You can see it phasing in. You can see the shape of it right here. You can see its arm. It's its left arm and half of its body.
Ryan,
And
how many hours a day do you spend out in the woods? Just
not very much, to be honest. It doesn't take much. These things are like the ones I interact with are right.
What's that bright green light over there on the left?
Orb. It flies across the screen in this video I
Nice.
have. It actually flies across the screen. And if you look right here, you can actually see there's something that looks odd right here. It looks like you see all this blurriness that's going across the screen, like right below the orb.
Yeah.
This is the shape of a bean's arm, because it is a bean's arm. It's a cloaked bean, and it's its arm, and it's standing right here, where the orb is right there. The orb flies past it on the screen and then flies back the other way on video. I'd have to go to this video. It'd be 7:15. Let me see. I can go to that video. But there's other stuff like this is also in that.
Well,
that
let
video.
let people know where they can find your channel. I've got to let the next caller in, but let people know where they can find your channel if they want to check out any more of your videos.
Yeah, it's on just our Cloaked Unseen World. It's just type in our Cloaked Unseen World on YouTube.
You had sent us a UFO video at one point, I think, and we played. It was a really good one.
But here's a story though. But you know, after my sister died, I literally videotaped a beam, knocked the phone out of my hand on video, but it ran so fast, and I break this video down on the. I did it on my interview with Mark Atwood. I break it down there, but I did a better breakdown of it on a video. The video of mine, it has like 1,800 views. It's a moon video. At the 24-minute mark, if you fast forward it to 24 minutes, you can see me break down the beam, knock the phone out of my hand. Like you can even see the teleport hole that opens up that it moves through. And
That's wild.
And then later, like 2 days later, I'm filming down at the bay, and I film a UFO fly inches above my head. I should actually go to that video. It's only like a 10-second clip.
Well, I don't see most of the stuff that you're talking about, but I also understand that it's a frequency thing, and that you could be on a completely separate level from me or anybody else and be seeing things that I can't see necessarily. So
well, actually, I do have one thing I do have this one that actually everybody can see. Even Robert looked at this one and was pretty amazed by it. So let me show you it just real quick. This one is it's called So Intricate, So Inconceivably Complex. Now this is a beam. Bigfoot will be in its Merkabah light body state, and it's in the woods. You'll see it bouncing around here. Watch.
And you think that's a Bigfoot, huh?
Well, when you see the whole video, you'll see that it is. I'm just trying to see. But yeah,
no, I'm just asking I'm asking you your opinion.
Yeah.
I believe that's a Bigfoot.
Okay. It's a Bigfoot that's taken its light body state. This is at night. It's in the woods of this new not woods, but it's this new place with houses.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the trees over here. There's nothing here but an empty lot that there's where they're building houses.
Okay, Ryan, I don't want to cut you off, but I gotta let the next caller in.
Okay.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is not just a regular light.
That looks. I mean, you sent us that really awesome Merkaba video in the first place, and that does look kind of like
it's changing shape like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's weird.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, we appreciate it.
Yeah, like later in this video at the end, you can see the me. Look at this blue thing in the woods here. That's another.
Oh, that's trippy.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
that thing's. Ooh, that looks like a.
Right.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know what
like
the hell that is. It looks like a spirit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Ain't catching me in the woods at night. I don't know what y'all be doing.
There's no light there. That's you can see the face.
I would do it. I'm kind of crazy like that though.
Right. I got enough weird shit in my house. Like it's.
Did you get morphine?
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, this is later in this video at the very end. So you go to this.
That looks like a lady in white walking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then there's other ones sitting right there. But yeah, I mean, I got stuff. A video I just released recently has them all around me in the woods. They look like it's called Scooby. I named it Scooby Doo. The video Scooby Doo. Like think about shadow beans and stuff like that you see on Scooby Doo. The black beans that you see.
Yeah, I hate those.
That's what is out there. They look like that.
Right.
They look like
it
that.
can stay out there.
I think they're programmed to look like that to scare you.
Well, you guys go check out Our Cloaked Unseen World. He's got a YouTube channel here. He sent us some pretty awesome footage before. If you haven't caught it, this is
here's pretty good.
Pretty crazy. The doctor says he's in the waiting room. He may or may not have a number, a phone number showing.
Ryan,
not 100%. That is awesome.
Can you unshare? Can you unshare your screen, please?
Let me see if I can figure that out real quick. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, stop share. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, that was great. We appreciate it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in. And
they gifted me a magic staff when a UFO after the beam knocked the phone out of my hand. They gifted me a magic staff down at the water, and I filmed a UFO fly inches above my head, manifested out of the tree beside me. You can just see the rotation of this thing above me. It's like bright lights, and then it disappears. And then I walk 5 minutes later up the top of the cliff, and there's like the staff. I had to literally move it out of the way, 7 feet long. I had to move it out of the way to get up the cliff that I wasn't there 10 minutes before. It was like obviously presented there. And the staff is amazing. If you see the video I did of it, it's on my channel too.
Well, I'll go check
all right, that out. Ryan. Thank you very much for calling in.
Much love. We appreciate you.
Have a wonderful evening.
All right.
All right. Good night.
Yep.
Let's see. I can't even figure out how to. Oh, withdraw co-host permission?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
We had a lot of people calling in with some.
Is this
some good footage today, huh?
Yeah.
He said he may or may not have a phone number. I'm not sure.
Okay. So call-in users, this is the doctor?
Yeah. I think so. Hello
there. Welcome to the Conspiracy Couch, Doctor. It's nice to hear your voice.
All right.
Thank you. Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
We can. You sound great. Right?
Excellent. Got a new microphone. So anyways, first time I've been on a chat voice in like 5 years. Anyway, I was on Dogman Encounters about 5 years ago. I've researched things from Sasquatch to, Dogman, and UFOs and different things like that.
Yeah, I've noticed your comments in the chat. I've noticed your comments for quite a while, and they're good. I could tell you've
some
seen
work
stuff
in there, huh?
Stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things I want to talk about, but I now have to go down the thin alleyway of Sasquatch. So
we'll have many more Conspiracy Couch shows with different topics. You are welcome to call in. Tell us your Sasquatch story.
Yeah.
All right, the Sasquatch story. This took place about 20 years ago. The same area, I don't know what's going on with this area because I've encountered not only a Sasquatch, but I've encountered a Dogman. And I wish Dogmen weren't real, to be honest, because they scare the hell out of me.
You saw a Dogman?
They are. I had a Dogman encounter in the middle of the dark in the woods.
Okay, all right. I gotta ask. What the hell is dog? Is this like Pigman Bear? All I'm seeing is South Park. What is Dogman?
Well, Dogman basically is okay. How long do you have? Let's see.
We got to hear about the
How far back
Dogman.
do you
Is this
go?
a benevolent Dogman, or is this like a scary Dogman barking and what? How? Please describe this.
Well, they're more like just a very, very intelligent animal that's upright and walking. The physical characteristics of a Dogman, they have the canine legs, the haunches.
Like
They
a werewolf?
have a head. They look like a werewolf. Actually, I had a friend who lives over in. Oh man, I have so many stories. But I have a friend because I've researched as like a gumshoe for a long time. But I have a friend who lives over in on the west coast of the United States, who asked me if I was talking to them about Sasquatch, if I knew anything about werewolves. And I was like, what? And they didn't know I knew anything about Dogman. This is way before people knew what Dogman was.
Is this the same
This is during
thing,
the
or?
time. No, werewolves are not the same thing as Dogman.
Okay.
Do we have those too? Werewolves? Are those real?
We gotta do a show on werewolves.
I only have one story for somebody I know who's brought up the same exact story about something that seems to be a werewolf. And that was about something like 8 years or 12 years apart. So, and the story was exactly the same, but there's some details which might throw it off, but I don't want to go off on a tangent here because there's so many rabbit trails in the woods where I live. In my mind,
back to Bigfoot. Sorry to distract you.
No, I would distract all of you. I could school everybody on rabbit trails. Anyway, so what happened was a buddy of mine, after working out back in the late 90s, we would sometimes go back bush and have a campfire. And usually I'm sitting there negotiating that he should probably break up with his girlfriend because he whined about her for years. And and she was horrible. So I was sitting there trying to talk to this guy about this, and we were in a campfire. And then the conversation went on for hours. It was really peaceful and nice back then. And finally we had to put up the fire and go for a walk and go back. And so we're walking by the river, and we're on this path. And it's only 20 minutes from the road, really, from the campfire itself. And we were about 10 minutes away from the road. And we were walking, and we were going around this bend away from the river to our right, and we heard something in the bushes. And at first I said to my buddy, oh, it's probably just a fisherman. And I said, hey, how's it going? And then next thing we know, this is almost exactly the same thing that Les Stroud said once. And something this size, it must have been of the Incredible Hulk, went pushing through the forest, snapping these small, snappily, I don't know how big you would say around, but the size of a Coke can around trees, snapping them like nothing, kicking large stones, flying into the river as it went right through the forest, not like a deer or an elk or something that would go between the trees. We don't have elk around here. But this thing went through the environment like it had nothing to stop it. And it was a physical, humanoid figure. Well, it went right through the forest. My buddy landed on his butt. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything much about Sasquatch back then, right?
It makes sense if it can phase in and out, that it could walk through physical things or like run through them, or it really wouldn't be like a problem too, Well, this thing had a physical presence about it as it ran, and it was literally either a Sasquatch or the Incredible Hulk. And I'm saying this because I'm very perceptive on my surroundings and the things I deal with. This was not a deer, wasn't anything like a bear. This was something that kicked stones. Legitimately, a big giant stone was hoofed. I heard it getting kicked, and it flew right onto the rocky beach, and this thing plowed right into the river. And my buddy and I were like, what the hell do we do? And I said, get a stick, because I know we both ran. A predator will actually follow us and get the person in the back, and that would have been him. So I said, get a stick, because I was going to have him run, and I was going to stand there and back away slowly and then run, right? I had the strategy in my mind, but we couldn't find nothing. So we just bolted, right?
Well, I don't know that a stick would have helped you much anyway.
I can't say nothing. I ran. When I had my super close encounter experience, I ran. I ran. I didn't know what else to do.
Right now I didn't know what it was, because
that's even scarier.
I didn't anything like that. I didn't research Sasquatch, anything up to that point. My buddy wondered if it was later. I didn't think they were around these areas. I turned out I was really wrong. But
you're in Canada?
But where we had the
what gave it away, Foyle? Not the boat, did it? It wasn't the boat.
South Park.
I have no idea.
The boot.
By the way, I loved John the City with James a few weeks back. That was awesome.
Oh, the interview I did with James on my channel, or me over there. Which are you referring to?
They were both good, actually. I saw them both. That's where I found this channel from.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
So the dog man I ran into was actually about where we had the campfire, but that was about a couple of years before that. And
I want to see a dog
that
man.
was extremely creepy. You guys want to hear it? This is,
it's
by the way,
about the
I'm
dog
very
man.
picky about the truth.
Yeah.
I'm very particular about the truth and the details. I don't elaborate anything here. So it's important you understand that if I really didn't think it was a Sasquatch, or I really didn't think this was a dog man, I wouldn't say it is.
If you guys want to hear
particular.
about the dog man, give us a 1. The 1 this time will not be for the puffin, it will be for the dog man story.
We love the puffins, but I definitely want to hear about the dog man.
Yeah, I vote 1.
Yeah,
I want to hear the dog man story. I'm waiting to see what they say.
I also ran into this spirit wolf thing too once with it looked like smoke, but people probably won't believe that.
Well, no, that I've actually heard tell of. The dog man is kind of new to me.
I'm getting.
I mean, unless we're talking about
it.
like a Jersey Devil, something along those lines.
They want to
hear
about your
I talked
dog
to
man.
a shaman before. I talked to a shaman before about the smoky wolf-like thing, and he gave me real feedback. He said it was a real thing.
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean that I absolutely believe for sure.
Yeah. Well, anyways, dogmen basically they look pretty much identical to what a werewolf looks like, but they're not werewolves. They're not monsters, not looking to kill you. Most of the time, what a dogman will do is it'll chase you until you lose, sight of it, and then it'll take off. It just wants to get out of there. It's one of the biggest bluffers out there.
Do they look more like Anubis or like a werewolf?
They look a little bit like Anubis in some cases. In the over in the pyramids in Egypt, apparently there were scrolls that were found. I was told this by my late girlfriend, and apparently dogmen were actually mentioned in the scrolls. They would actually say the only way you could kill a dogman was by piercing its heart. Of course, they never called it a dogman; they called it something else. And so, anyways, they said you had to pierce its heart, and they wanted the hide because the hide they believed gave them magical powers. And that's interesting because a lot of stories of dogman, you have all these veterans and people who are great with guns firing down on a dogman and they can't take it down. So it's interesting that they said that.
Interesting.
Anyways, I'll go to the story. Okay. I love going back bush here in Canada, where I live. I love going back here. I told the same story on Dogman Encounters 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Actually, it's 7 now, isn't it? Wow. And so, anyways, oh man, it still gives me the shivers. Okay. So my buddy,
build up again,
I
just
had a
like
friend.
Tyler's video. Here we go. Yeah, let me strap in for this. Here we go. Let's go. Let's blast off.
My friend and I, we went back there with his girlfriend and my ex-girlfriend, who I was friends with, and she had a female friend with her. We went back there and we set up camp and stuff like that. And this is during the day. And so my ex-girlfriend wanted to go around town and take some photos because the town's really pretty, right? It's a tourist town for Americans usually. And so anyways, we go around town, take pictures, look at things. And by the time we get back, it's actually dark. And they say they want to get going. Now, this next part's important because you need to know where my mind frame was at, okay? This is the part we get to laugh at me, okay? Because this was 20 years ago. I think I was around 19-ish.
Oh, we're all about
right?
laughing at people, so you've come to the right place. Go for it.
Oh, I'm Canadian. We're used to being laughed at. It's all good. So what happened was before we left, or before they left, because they said they were going to head back because they had like a 3-hour drive. And I thought it was kind of crappy because they didn't get to sit around and hang out much. So anyway, my ex-girlfriend kissed me, and it was her way. She told me later that she wanted me back or something, but I didn't know at the time. And I was like, why did she kiss me for? Anyway, so I'm walking back through the dark in through the paths, back through the bush.
Yeah.
I've done this hundreds of times by myself, no flashlight. And I'm walking through the woods. And I'm just thinking about that whole thing that happened. That's where my head's at. And I'm like, what? Why did she do that for? That's ridiculous. Of course, So I'm walking, and finally I get to this point, and there are actually some pictures on Dogman Encounters where I explain this, and he actually has pictures that I took from like literally 7-8 years ago. And I hear some movement on what's called the third plateau. It's a hard stone throw from where my other friends were camping, right? And so I think, oh, it's my buddy. He's probably gathering wood, and I have to climb up this 4-foot thing of roots to get up onto the plateau. And I can hear it's now in this area. It's pitch black because the trees are all kind of around, like in this kind of a dome, right? And that's where I used to go camping all the time with my brothers and stuff. So I hear this movement, and it's big. So I think it's my buddy. He weighs like 240. You know, that's probably who he is, right? He's going to try to scare me. It's not going to work. But anyway, when I walk through the woods, I usually don't have to use my eyes too much. I can just feel my way. If I get in doubt, I look up. I can see mainly where the trees part.
I'm sorry. Metal plated face job just cracked me up. He said, "Dude totally gets laid in his stories." Sorry, I just funny.
Let you know where my head was at.
Thank you, Mike Burns, Beltalora.
Right. Yeah. Also, Amanda, thank you for your donation to Cash App as well. Really appreciate you.
Oh, and we love you. Thank you.
I think she's the one that sent me the website for the Bigfoot stuff. I will show that before I close. I'm not positive who said, but I think it was her. So we will show that. Go ahead.
Okay, so you're alone in the woods.
Alone in the
for
woods.
some reason. No flashlight in the dark, right? Who does this? You guys keep doing. Everybody does this. Alone in the woods in the dark at night. Okay. You lose me there, but go ahead. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this area is pitch black. Okay. I feel my way because I know where to go, and I know this area really well. So I'm walking right by where the campfire used to be, you know, and I'm walking, and all of a sudden I hear this heavy running towards me. Okay. And right away, I'm like, it's my buddy, right? This guy is going to try to freak me out, and he's not going to get me one iota. He runs right. I hear this thing run up to me, and it's about 3.5 feet away, maybe 3 feet away. Okay. Maybe 2.5, somewhere around there. And it stops. And I turn my head towards it and I go, "How's it going, Steve?" His name's Steve. So, "How's it going, Steve?" And I hear silence. I'm like, that's strange. Usually when the gig's up, the gig is up.
It was
so
not
I said,
Steve.
"How's it going, Steve?" And then I heard his voice. I heard his voice in the distance, talking to his girlfriend by the fire.
Oh yeah,
hell no. Hard stone throw away. And then as I'm sitting here with a confused look on my face.
This is how he got laid so much. It was the stories.
I turned my head to see what was going on, and I immediately I said, I got to listen because I want to hear the pattern of the running. And I hear the pattern. It's strange. I can't make it the pattern. It's not left, right, left, right, left, right, but it's also at the same time not necessarily kind of like, galloping or anything like that. So I'm like, what's going on? And I said to myself, oh crap, is this thing circling around to get my buddy? And I don't know what it is. And so I start running towards my buddy where the campsite is, but the campfire is blinding me through between the trees. And to beat all, the ground goes up and down because water goes through in the spring. So I'm running and then I'm falling. I'm running, I'm falling like a girl in one of those old horror films from the 80s.
Yeah, I'm picturing.
I am. It's just like that, almost identically.
Yeah.
And it's as least masculine as you can get.
Did you make sound effects while you were doing it or no?
Oh no! Right.
I think I was muttering swear words or something. But anyway,
okay.
But I stumble into the light radius of the campfire. They're looking at me like I'm a crazed lunatic. I'm looking at the tree line for like a werewolf to come running through to try to rip us apart. And all of a sudden, there's nothing but silence. And they're looking at me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I tell them what happens. They don't really believe me. I don't know why. And my buddy said before I showed up, he thought he heard something small being killed in the woods. He thought maybe it's just some small animal got killed and something was trying to defend it. I'm like, a small animal? And so for the rest of the night, they're in their tent sleeping. I'm sitting by the campfire, sharpening the stick, thinking, okay, either I sit here and I'm going to be basically looked at until something decides to take a move on me, or I'm going to walk back and carry the sharp stick. And if something, this sounds like I'm a big man when I say this. This is just what happened. I said, I'm just going to go home. If something tries to get me, I'm going to stick it in the jugular. It's coming down with me. That's it. And so I got up and I went home. I walked to the woods. It was dark. I had no flashlight. I knew there was something big in the woods. I didn't know what it was. It wasn't a Sasquatch because the way it ran at me, there was no sound or noise. There's another story that, by the way, is almost identical to this that was told by my girlfriend's grandmother who had an encounter in 1935, but I won't go into that.
We're all on the edge
But
of
I
our
walked
seats
all the
here,
way
Doctor.
home.
We're all on the edge of our
Right.
seats.
So I was on the edge of my seat the time I was walking. I was walking the entire time, carrying this sharp stick, looking around, waiting for something to come at me. And I'm not kidding you. I was looking to defend myself to the end. And finally I got to the mouth of the bush, got under the bridge. And as I walked across the bridge, I just threw the stick over the edge. And I guess I lived. And I just went home.
No, you guys in the dark in the woods with sticks, like.
I thought you were going to say the dog man, and I was by the fire, and then all of a sudden the dog man, it popped out, and I could see it, the fire, and it was glowing, and I was like, oh shit, and then its eyes lit up, and I was like, you know.
It shot lasers out of its eyes,
Man.
right? I'm waiting for.
That buildup on that
because
doctor.
This is a true story. Sometimes it's the way it is, right?
That's true.
True stories are not always the most.
They just try to kind of get you out of their area, right? That seems to be the goal of the dog man, is not necessarily to attack somebody, but just kind of run you off.
Well, the dogman thing I ran into was by mistake. He had no idea that I was coming up on him because I was walking pretty carefully.
What does Bigfoot eat? DK just commented, Bigfoot needs to eat too, nothing like a skinny vegan for a Scooby snack. Oh, that's very funny, all considering I'm the vegan, DK. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, vegan jokes.
They eat a lot of deer, and they've been caught pulling roadkill off the road. Actually, 5 years ago, I was walking back bush during the day just for a hike, and I ran into a woman with 3 dogs that was camping back there with a boyfriend, and she asked me if there were any wolves that were back there, and I said, why? Right? Because, my experiences, and since then I've researched dogman. Like, people came to me with stories, right? And they didn't know that I knew anything about this stuff. That was really crazy. So I asked her why, and she told me that she had an experience. It was across the river where I had my experience, just so happened, where she saw this giant wolf head looking at her over a log.
Oh,
and she mentioned the size of the footprint was really wide, exactly like real dogman footprints are. And she knew nothing about dogman. So I had to sit here and tell her what I experienced back there. And I felt like a complete loon telling her about this. Because, I sound like one of those crazy people telling somebody a crazy story about a werewolf-like creature. I mean, but the interesting thing about Sasquatches is a lot of the time Sasquatches usually only eat the organs out of an animal.
Oh, well,
right?
that makes
and
me feel
so
so
is
much
this
better.
confirmed? Do we know they eat meat? Or, I mean, they could be for all I know,
they are not vegan.
I'm not saying they are, man. I'm saying, do we know for sure? Do we have sauce on what they eat? Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
He's saying they eat the organs and they leave the meat.
I mean, sauce or, you know what I mean? Do we know what the Bigfoot eat? We can't just assume we know.
Well, because hunters have found a lot of carcasses of deers and different animals like that without their organs thrown up into trees, and the only thing that's likely that fits that is usually dogman, or not dogman, but Sasquatch. But a dogman, though, is a scavenger, and they're much like real dogs in some ways, and wolves, where they will follow where the free meat is. So it's not surprising that where you find Bigfoot, you find dogmen, because dogmen will scavenge areas where
like hyenas.
likely it seems to be.
I'm not convinced on dogman. I'm really not. Like the whole Sasquatch Bigfoot thing, like I'm 100% convinced and think I have an idea what they are, but I don't even know what to think about some of these other cryptids like dogman and what's the other one they say that. But then again, I mean, I think there's, I don't think.
So you think there can be a Sasquatch, but probably not a dogman?
I know, no, but that's what I'm saying is who knows?
Well,
like really, I think there's mermaids and all. I think there's probably all.
Oh, so
I think there's all kinds of stuff on this planet we have no idea about. They don't tell us about, So.
Well, the devil's in the details. Like I do a lot of what's considered the detective work, where basically there are details about dogmen that people generally don't know about. Like on top of their ears, they have sometimes these hair, they'll come up top of their ears a little bit. They don't know about their hips being like a man, generally like a man's hips. There's a lot of little details that people don't know about dogmen that people who witness these things will talk about.
Are they second density or third? Are they second density beings like the Bigfoot? Second density physical? Does anybody know?
Well, they definitely have found. Okay, I'll tell you something I know there's people listening to this broadcast, and I'm not so keen on sharing this information, but I'll do it anyway.
Mhm.
And this is something I hesitated saying, but I'll tell you. And unfortunately, I'm going to be one of those guys. I hate to be one of those guys, but I was shared information, like photographic information, showing a dead dog man. And it showed its legs. The head was missing because there's a story behind it. It was taken from a government folder, which is now not existent anymore because all that stuff was digitalized. So this person, if I showed the photos to people, I would probably be looked at as somebody of significance if I did that, but I can't do that because the person will be found out because it's a very specific place where it was taken from, and it's ID'd and everything, and they'll know who had access to it. So they will become in the most heinous crap if I did that, and I swore I wouldn't do it. But I wanted to see the information, so I agreed to their, that I wouldn't show anybody. I'm going to tell you right now, they're very real. They're very, very real. I saw the dead canine haunches. The legs were the biggest canine legs I've ever seen in my life. I saw the physical hands. They weren't human.
Did we make them?
Did
Did we make them, Doctor?
Oh.
Did we make these genetically engineered beings that we made?
Like off that island?
No.
What is it? Plum Island? Is that right? No. Is that right?
My late girlfriend's grandmother, who was 8 years old in 1935, over in northern Algeria. And back then, they lived in huts and stuff. They had their little farm animals and whatnot. And there were wolves around, but they actually had agreements with the wolves by giving them meat, and they leave their livestock alone. Not agreements, but I mean like a unconscious, like I'll give you this, leave them alone. And somehow the wolves understood it, and they did that, which is amazing.
There are
Wolves
cities in
incredible.
India that will leave meat out for tigers to
And-
keep them from coming into the. Yeah, I can see that.
It's amazing. And so anyways, in really early in the morning, her grandmother, when she was 8 years old with her sister, went out into the dark woods to collect firewood for their breakfast. And this was normal back then because, back then it was crazy. And so they were collecting firewood, and all of a sudden this giant 7-foot wolf man thing stood up, growling, not looking at them, walked straight forward. And after about 20, 30 feet, all of a sudden you didn't hear any noise. And that's the one thing I left out of my story I forgot to tell you about, that when this thing was running away, after 30 feet, it stopped making sound, even though it was really loud and heavy and big, right? And that was really weird. And this actually mimicked that, where there was no sound anymore after a certain point. And her grandmother said that this freaked her grandmother out so much. Dogmen seem to have this effect on people where it traumatizes people, and they're not even the biggest, baddest things on the planet.
Oh,
But
I bet
across the
there are
board.
people. I imagine they would be traumatized.
I've also had situations. Go on.
I just noticed Max Red Pill on Foxhole just posted, and I think if I'm reading this correctly, is saying that he's in New Zealand, where we just had all those earthquakes. Is that correct,
yeah,
or am I
that's
reading that
wild.
wrong? Hi, Due Diligence. Good to see you. Am I reading that wrong or no? All other quakes.
There was a big earthquake in New Zealand this morning, and then there was something else, like an
Hopefully
8 somewhere.
he can clarify if he is in fact, because if he is on New Zealand, he experienced that. I'd like to know more about that situation and what happened. Okay, so go ahead, Doctor.
So anyways, this is interesting though, because the Sasquatch for many years was not heard of, not seen, not believed by many. This is not far out from that. Reason people don't talk about dogmen encounters largely is because it's a freakish thing to run into. No one's going to believe you. I had people, for example, tell me they saw the same thing on the same road at 2 different times, and they don't even know each other, right? And they don't know nothing about the subject. This is long before dogman was a thing. Most of my research and findings were before the year 2010, with the exception of that woman back in 2015. And so I had people come to me about it, not knowing I knew anything about it. So I had 3 friends who I knew in 1999 on their way here, said they were driving 20 minutes to this town from another one, coming back from the movies. And there was this 5-foot tall, they called it a werewolf, running right next to their vehicle, They looked right over and they saw it. And that's very common with dogmen and dogmen stories. And in year 2006, in the summer, a woman told me separately, and this woman knows nothing about subjects like this, and she said that she saw this thing that had funny looking arms stand at the side of the road that was 6-7 feet tall, and then she saw it go down on all fours and took 2 leaps across the road. And she said that she's never seen anything like it before. She said, I don't know. She said, I said, what did it look like? And she told me the characteristics. I said, did it look anything like a wolf? She's just like, yeah, but it was like a wolf on steroids. It was huge and muscly and stuff. And it was just crazy. And it was exactly it was the same area. Well, here's the thing. I wish this thing didn't exist.
I didn't know about the dogman. I've been down every rabbit hole. I had no idea.
Well, listen, I mean, you got to imagine that we've got story like I said, the Jersey Devil. And somebody mentioned it in the chat, the Ohio thing. Like, I'm from Ohio. I know what they're. You've got several things that are probably the same thing, and you would imagine. I mean, if it's got dog-like characteristics, it's probably territorial. Man. You know, it probably has an area. You know, and if you get in its area, then. You know, maybe it has an issue with that, I would imagine.
Yeah. You want to hear about the spirit wolf? You were talking about that.
Yeah, hit us with the spirit wolf. Let's do it.
No, that I'm familiar with.
Red pill me on the spirit wolf. I just got red pilled on Dogman. Had no idea. Might as well bring it on.
Well, if people really want to look at Dogman, by the way, just go to Dogman Encounters with Vic Cundiff. Right. He's an incredibly honest individual. He's very straightforward. He's a good guy. Respect him a lot. Okay. And I'm on number 14 and number 28.
14,
people want to know my real name and location.
Okay, is it Doctor? Hold on, is this on the TV set or is this on the YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It's also on the internet. It's Dogman Encounters Radio.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about 20 minutes into number 28 because there's another woman who wanted to tell her small story at the beginning, and then I was tagged on afterwards. So, okay, this spirit wolf thing, I've never told the public about this thing before. This sounds absolutely insane.
I'm ready.
And I understand anyone has to be skeptical, I understand, but I only tell the truth. There's so many lies out in the world. I can't stand lies. I only tell the truth. If something's lame, fine. I'll tell you something that's lame, but as long as it's the truth. But this isn't lame. This is scary. Now, the scary part is not the spirit wolf thing. The scary part was everything I was experiencing when going back there. Now, I love going back bush. Now, the area I'm talking about is in between where I ran into the dogman and where I ran into the Sasquatch thing. Oh, man, I sound ridiculous. But anyway, sorry. I just know what it sounds like.
Why do you run into so many weird beings? You can't tell us?
Because he's out there in the woods by himself in the dark.
I've even had encounters with extraterrestrial stuff, but I won't get into that now because we'll be so far from this main subject line that you'll never get back.
We're going to have to save that for an alien show. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
I get excited. I can't help it, and
she does.
I have to tell myself to shut up. You know, like stop. Okay, go ahead.
I'm exactly the same way. Yeah. So anyway, what happened was I was alone, and
no girlfriend this time.
Make me sound...
Come on.
No, there was nobody with me.
Yeah.
But I was going for a walk, and sometimes I'd go for a walk in my community, and I keep an eye on things. That's what I used to do, right? And sometimes I'd go back bush and make sure people are okay. This is something for years I never really told people. And so anyways, I was going back bush and I felt this weird oppression on me, like something was around me and it was going to hurt me. But I knew there was nothing there. And I was at the point where I was almost in tears, right? And this was probably around 2003-ish, I think. And I was walking back bush, and as I was walking back, I could just feel like there was something there. And I was terrified. I was terrified that there was something that was going to jump out and get me. I don't know what it was. I've done this hundreds of times. I've never had this feeling, this oppression on me. And I was so scared. And I just had to do it anyways. I said, what if there's somebody back there, and whatever this is, maybe they're feeling the same thing. I don't know. So I had to push on. So I pushed on, and I got to about halfway to where the, about 10 minutes walk back there to where I was by the river on this path. It was a beautiful night though. And all of a sudden I just had this feeling inside me. It's like my gut was saying, you know, there's nothing back here. You gotta go home. And so I said, okay. I turn around and I start walking back, and from my right, there's this misty cloud thing in the shape of a wolf, and it's walking from my right to my, in front of me onto the path. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a wolf thing right in front of me. It's a misty wolf. And I said, I was not afraid of it. It was the only thing I wasn't terrified of. And it was walking ahead of me, and it stayed on the path. And I watched it walk on the path until it disappeared into the mouth of the forest that was leading out. And I followed it along until I left the bush. And later I asked a native about it. I said, what was that about? And he said, was it walking towards you or was it walking away from you? I was like, why? He said, it really matters. And I said, it was walking away from me. And he's like, really? He said, that's really rare. It's a good omen. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, that's really rare. That's good. Like if it was walking towards you, he said it would be really, really bad. Then he said it's something about the wolf spirit was trying to get me to accept it or something. And I was like, what's that about?
There's a lot of Native American lore and even like Nordic lore about ghost wolves or wolf spirits or.
There is something else, but I'm not going to talk about it. Something else that happened.
Oh,
later,
man.
But I can't. It is goofy. It's so goofy sounding that anybody with any credibility would just look at me and raise their eyebrow and go, I don't know if I believe you anymore. And it's also kind of embarrassing. So I'm not.
You're talking to a girl that sees spaceships and talks to. I don't even talk about most of the experiences I have on air.
Right.
Let's put it that way, because most people
really?
Look. Yeah. You're talking to a girl who literally got her name from the mermaids. Literally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually wondered where it came from.
Yeah, I don't like to tell the story online because people, they just I don't know. But anyways,
Okay.
It's the only time I ever heard a voice audibly in my head. Well, I'm trying to remember what I was doing.
Okay.
Oh, I walked into the water in a meditation. I walked into the water and I was like, Aquafarians of Earth, do you have a message for me? That's when I first learned that I had a connection to them, right? So I walked into the water in my meditation and I'm like, do you have a message for me? And the only time this has ever happened to me, I heard audibly in my ear, Alara. They called me Alara. They spoke to me in Farsi. Now, I don't know why they spoke to me in Farsi, but they did. They spoke to me in Farsi and they gave me a message, which I don't really like to go into on air, but they called me Alara. And the moment I heard it, it resonated. And I had this problem where my name I didn't understand my name anymore. I was like, how did I get this name? And what am I doing on this planet? The whole thing. And then they told me and I knew instantly that was my name. And the message they gave me was kind of cool. And anyway, it was a very profound experience. But the point is, you're talking to a girl that sees spaceships and got her name from the mermaids. Yeah. So go for it. You're not going to sound crazy at all.
Okay, I'll do it for you too. This is something I would never tell the public. I've told only a couple people before. Well, I'll tell you. Okay. It's not something I would normally do, but like I said, I'll do it for you too because your show's awesome and you guys are awesome. Your chat's pretty awesome. Everyone there's pretty cool. So, I really never thought I'd ever tell people this, but okay. I had a really strange dream. I don't remember exactly what it was. This is not a long thing I'm going to tell you. This is very short. Okay. I was in my apartment. I was sleeping. I woke up in this bestial state where I was growling at things outside of under my bed, like something was trying to come up front of the bed and get me, and I was snarling and like slashing at it like an animal, like literally not like I was a human being, like I was something else. And then I snapped out of it. I thought I saw people in my kitchen too. It was really weird because I could see the kitchen from my bedroom, and it was literally like I was something else. And
was
I never
it
had an
you,
experience
or
like that.
was something inside of you?
It was like it was me, but I was something else. And I was snarling and snarling and I was like biting at it and stuff like that. Like literally it went on for like maybe 5 seconds. Like there was something trying to come at me and I was being really aggressive like an animal towards it. Like normally if something was trying to get me from underneath my bed, I leap off my bed, I grab something heavy and I go to smash the hell out of it. That's just the way it is, right? As a human being, that's what you do, right? You defend yourself any way you can. But I don't go animalistic, like I'm trying to like bite and snarl at something and start, acting like something that's not human. And I've never had that happen. And then I just kind of snapped out of it and went, what the hell am I doing? And it just wasn't like I was in a dream and I wasn't, I've never experienced anything like that remotely before. I talked to the shaman guy about it and he said, yeah, they're trying to get you to accept the wolf thing. I was like, is this where werewolves come from or something? You know, this is back in 2003, right? So this is way before I did any
Maybe you
research
are
on certain
one.
things. And
Right? Was the moon
No.
full?
and that was the daytime.
Yeah, maybe he is one. Yeah, was the moon full? Good question, Foil.
I need
No,
to know.
no.
Are you only telling us
I'm
half
not
the
dead.
story, Doctor?
No. I'll tell you the whole
Wouldn't
story.
that be cool if
Yeah.
he was really like a dog man or a werewolf and he just decided to call into Conspiracy Couch and troll us with
Right.
dog
That's
man
what
and
we need.
werewolf stories and not tell us
Right?
that he
Can
was
we
one
get
of them?
right?
Yeah.
We need the
buddy.
Sasquatches and the aliens to ring us up and just really give us the skivvy, man. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, I've experienced telepathic communication before, which sounds completely crazy.
No, it
but I
doesn't.
won't get into that.
Not at
this
all.
story.
Okay, so
So
if
I know
nobody
that it's
else
not
calls
natural
in,
phenomenon.
you're going to be stuck hearing the Doctor for the rest of the night, which you're probably cool with if you're as fascinated with his stories as we are.
Right.
I have stories galore. I could keep going and going, and you could, by the way,
well,
you can
we've only
match
got
my
8
stories
minutes.
with what's mentioned.
We've got 8 minutes left, so if nobody has a burning desire, we'll go ahead and let Doctor finish out the last 8 minutes.
Yeah. So, do you want to know my real name? Of course, this is just my alias, the Doctor.
Well, I'm gonna
Feel-
find out when
feel
I
free
go
to right?
when I go
Feel
watch the
free to
Dogman Encounters episodes. I'm gonna know.
Feel
Yeah,
free
you can
to
match
share.
my stories with what I experienced in those, and they'll be perfectly exactly the same. Yeah, honesty is important. When sharing stories, and you see when you do any research on anything, it's very important to come at things like a detective. You want to look for evidence, facts, right? Because people can make up stuff. Perception can really make something look like it's not, right? You can see something and think it's something else. I don't do that. I work with only facts. And that's why when I share information with people, you know it's real because I've vetted it. But it doesn't mean I don't have an open mind. It doesn't mean that there isn't other possibilities. And that's what I work with. And
Oh, I start from the position of trying to debunk whatever it is, and then when I moved into this house and weird things started happening, and I got it on video, and I contacted the people, and I was like, please tell me I'm crazy. Like, come in here and show me that I'm crazy, and they could not.
The Lion just said, 1 foot in 5D. Just FYI, I'll answer all the questions. The council has no hold on me.
Right?
Man,
Hit us up.
right?
yeah.
We love
Hit us
people
up.
that the council has no hold on. We're all about that.
All right, no holds from the council. Nobody got time for council holds.
Right? Go ahead, Doctor.
Yeah. I've also had a Shadow Man experience before. Where
I
came
hate
face-to-face with
that.
one.
Go ahead, because I'm deeply familiar with.
To think
This-
I've only
this
had
one's great. I have-
spaceships. Man.
Oh,
Some
I got-
people get
the
all of
shadow
it.
people. The shadow people are freaking terrifying.
I've ran into 3 of them. This one was he was a jerk. But basically, this experience I have witnesses, and scientifically speaking, it's interesting because I had people point out things what I was looking at and thinking, and so they were seeing the same things I was, and so it wasn't me making up anything or seeing a fake shadow or something. So what happened was I had a buddy. This was once again around 20 years ago. It's all within the same 5-year span. Where I was going back with my buddy whose parents owned the house, and of course he was living with his parents. The basement level was just another level. This is where he had the TV room, a hallway that went down with bedrooms and such, and there was a pit area where people used to hang out. And so we were going back to his place, and we entered the house, and he's a big Southern guy. And he's from Georgia, right? Nice guy.
Foil's a
real
fan of big
real
Southern
tall,
guys. Yeah.
Big guy.
Big,
My people.
Yeah.
But he went down the stairs into the dark TV room, but he went down kind of quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to the door to the right. And I went down the stairs kind of quietly, and I could feel there was something in the room because I have, senses. I could sense things, right?
You can feel
And,
them things when they're in the room.
Me too. He knows
Well,
that, though.
I'm
Doctor
very-
knows that about me.
Oh yeah, I'm very sensitive about things as well.
Mhm.
And so I was walking down the stairs. I could feel there was something in the room. I walked down the hallway and I asked him why he went down the stairs, even though I kind of had an idea, but I didn't want to put it out there. And he said, "Okay, fine, I'll tell you." He said, "For a long time now, I've been seeing this bald shadow man, and he's terrified of ghosts. He's terrified. He's a big Southern guy, terrified of ghosts. So he's he said that he's been seeing this thing out of the corner of his eye, the reflection of the mirror, freaking him out. And his bedroom was literally just halfway down that hallway. So it's just a few feet from that door. And so I said, how about me and you stand in front of the door with it closed behind us in that dark room and see what happens? And so he's kind of impulsive like I am. So he said, all right, let's do it. So we stood there. He was on my left.
He only did that because you were there, and he didn't want to be less manly than another man that was suggesting that you guys do something crazy. Just putting that out there. But go ahead.
Yeah. He was also a little impulsive too. So his impulsiveness was probably number one, but the other stuff probably took a real toll. He probably really did he probably really
borderline
thought that,
personality disorder.
With a dude. He was like, I'm with a guy and I don't want to like say no.
Yeah,
but
right.
Anyway, he said, but he was kind of excited though. He said, yeah, let's do it. So we did it. We stood there. And then all of a sudden, after about 10 seconds, he stood up and he ran. He got it. Well, he didn't really stand up. He was already standing. But he just turned around and went right through the door. And I went back after him. I said, what's wrong? He said, it stood up in front of me. And I was looking out, so I wasn't looking at him, so I didn't see anything like that. So I said, well, let's go back. And he was like, no, there's no way. And this is his house. This guy's like 4 feet from his bedroom. So I'm like, no, come on, let's all of us go. So there's a total of 5 of us. And he says, okay, 5 of us, we'll go. So we go back. We stand in front of the doorway. We're standing there like bowling pins. Me and him are in the front, the other 3 in the back. My one friend, Steve, who was there during the Dogman encounter, he was there. And he was in the back. And he was back to my right, actually. And so we're standing there. We could feel something. I could feel something out there. And so I said, if you don't go, I'm going to get rid of you, and I know how to do it. And you know I know how to do it. Now, this sounds like a real ballsy thing to say. Sounds all jockish. This is just what happened. I'm not trying to make myself look like a big man. This is what happened.
had to amp up on the thing in my house also.
I'm just not afraid of ghosts. I'm just not. I just have no fear of them. I don't know why.
Doctor,
so anyway,
we have one last caller. So if you got it.
I'll be done in a second here. So basically, I said I'll get rid of you, and you know I can do it. And then all of a sudden, this shadow thing just appeared slightly to my right, and it's this the shadow figure, and it's literally about a foot from my head. And my buddy behind me said, hey, John, to your right. Right. So I just turned my head slightly, it's like, yeah, I know, I could see it. And I turned my head finally and looked right at it. And I said, if you don't go, I'll get rid of you. And I know how to do that. And then all of a sudden, all this flow of hate flew right through us all. I could hear everyone in the back just gasping.
That's terrible.
Oh, I bet.
So,
man.
So finally, I just said go, because we're not scared of you, and stuff like that. And finally, the thing just faded away and it never came back.
Well, the things in my house were all, he's coming. And then that thing shows up and says, the light is a lie. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was all bad.
Light is a lie.
Oh,
I've heard that before from creatures.
That's weird.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why they say that.
We have it on, the people were here with the,
she's got it recorded.
The paranormal people were here. They recorded everything.
Weird.
I had to have them
I've heard that before.
It was wild. It was wild.
Doctor, thank you for calling in and sharing all your amazing stories.
That was great.
We appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
It was an honor.
Yes, thank you very much.
And bring down the cabal.
Yeah.
Woo!
Power to the people.
Take down the parasitical elite class.
Right.
All right.
Predator elites.
Have a good night, Doctor. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
LLZ.
That was fun. He's got lots of stories, man.
Man, I love.
Man, he makes me seem like amateur night, right?
Oh,
like.
That was great.
Hello, caller. Can you mute the stream?
Yes, thank you very much.
Done. This is ArtiQuLate Unseen World again. I called in for one reason.
Hi.
Because I got something important to say.
Okay.
Now, people are going to comprehend this. It's very difficult, but imagination is everything. If you go out into the woods and you think fearful things are going to happen to you.
It's true.
If you go out into the woods and think that you're safe and that you're protected, you will be safe and you'll be protected. But now if you're in a group with a lot of people and there's a lot of people in the group that are thinking scary things can still happen that they can experience. You just can yourself not be afraid of them because you know they're only experiencing them because that's what they're imagining. Okay? Yeah. Now,
one thing I know, and I know this could be repeated by everybody if they try it and if they really want to defeat their fear and they're ready to do it, you can do it. There's shadow beings in your house, in every room that you're in, and every time of your life, there's something in that room that you can't see that's cloaked, that has its eyes on you, that's watching you. There's the watchers. It's true. The Bible talks some truths and a lot of truths, but there's some falsehoods in there too. But the watchers is one. There is one in every room of your house. You can find it with your third eye, with your eyes closed, by scanning the room with your eyes till you see a place gets very painful to like stay like focused on the one place. You'll start to where, but you could do it with your eyes open too in the dark.
Oh, yeah, I don't even have to close my eyes. It's
but you could
apparent.
you could find that in any room, and you could retest this in every room. You could find that spot where it hurts to focus your eyes on with your eyes open, even, or you can learn to do it with your eyes closed too. But it's easier with your eyes open, even in the dark. In the light, it'd probably be easier to do with your eyes closed, like opposite. So when you're in your dark room, you have your eyes open. If you scan the room, everywhere in the room, you'll find a spot where it will hurt to look. It will literally hurt to keep focused on that spot, and it'll hurt your eyes.
With your eyes closed?
You see, in the dark room with your eyes closed, in the light room with your, in the dark room with your eyes open, in the light room with the eyes closed, is how you could figure out where they are. And you'll find the place where it hurts to focus, especially in the dark. It's easy to test this. Just, you have to scan, but you have to want to really, you have to want this to be what your goal has to be. You want to defeat your fear. You can do it if you do this. You look everywhere in that room until you find the spot that hurts your eyes, and you laser focus on it. It'll hurt so bad that you'll look away, but you can't look away. So you have to go back and keep going back until you force whatever it is that's hurting your eyes. You force it to move. And if you repeat that at every room that you go in, you will make that happen. You will see that it's true.
Oh, I
you will
clear
know that
my
it's
house
true.
with the love and the light of Jesus Christ, and that stuff will get out of my space.
Fine. And that's fine, because what your imagination did then, it cleared the spot. But that thing is still there, but you're just not thinking about it because you know in your imagination that you cleared the spot, so you're not thinking about it. You're not looking for it, so you're not going to see it. But you're still safe. You're safe either way. You're the only person that makes yourself unsafe by what you imagine. You imagine something fearful. I can't hear you.
Stop being afraid, Foil. Stop being afraid.
Ryan, we do have get angry.
We do have to close the show though. We're 3 minutes over right now, over 2 hours, which is
all right.
Okay.
Well, that was
much
it.
No, thank you.
To let you know that there's a way to do it, and you're not. Nothing you did was wrong, Foil. I'm not trying to say that.
I'm gonna try that.
I don't operate out of fear with that. I get angry, and it will get out of my house. Or at least
hold on. It gets out when you get mad.
Negative energy.
Oh, I push it out when I get angry. I'm telling you, it's a righteous anger. No, it is a righteous anger, and in the name of Jesus, I reclaim my home, and it quiets down for a while. Now, I told you, Alara, it's kind of off and on with that. You know what I mean? So it just depends. But yes, when I
work for so long, but it'll work.
Definitely works
all right.
here.
This has been quite a show, let me tell you.
Woo! We talked about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling
in, Ryan, and sharing that. I'm gonna try that out. I'll let you know what happens.
All right.
All right.
Much love. Good night.
Have a good evening.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye. Okay. So, I want to show the website of our friend that has a Bigfoot thing. She sent it to me by email. I'm not sure exactly I think it's the one that just put the super chat, but I'm not positive. So I want to go ahead and show that real quick before we close the show. Man, we went over 2 hours. This is nuts. But it's all love. You know what I mean? Love hanging out with you guys, talking about wild dogmans and spirit wolves, and we went the whole gamut tonight, didn't we? Look at Doctor. It's coming with all the stories.
Couch. That's what we do here.
Right? Okay.
Right.
So this is WNC Bigfoot Festival. Let me move over to the screen so you guys can see it. It looks like Friday, September 17th and Saturday, September 18th of 2021.
Oh.
Yeah, 196 days away. Where's this located?
At?
I don't know.
That looks like North Carolina. Maybe.
I don't know.
No, could be totally wrong.
If you're in the chat, would you please let us know where this is located?
Wait, scroll down all the way to the bottom and see if there's an address.
There's no address. Media room, about, hold on, maybe about, that might be good, huh, Foil? About, yeah.
Be a good place to
Okay,
look.
explored the mountains during the... There's nothing, everyone planet, Bigfoot, I just hear Bigfoot Festival, but I can't figure out where it's at. Man, where's this at? It's got to be in the Northwest somewhere.
Western North Carolina.
Marion, Marion, North Carolina, correct? So yeah, if you are in that area there and you are interested in Bigfoot,
maybe I will be there.
There is a Bigfoot festival, right? I'd be down with it. Yeah, that'd be fun.
We should do that.
I wonder if there's going to be a
Not too
Bigfoot
far.
there playing the sax. That would be incredible.
That would be right.
Yeah.
Sack Squatch.
Sax Squatch. You got it. Right? That was clever, Foil. You're clever sometimes. You know that? Only sometimes, but you're clever.
Once in a while.
Okay, so yes, this has been a long show. Thank you all for hanging in so long. I know it's really late for some of you, so thank you so much. Let me see.
Thank you. Yeah,
announcements.
Donating peeps, we love you.
Thank you to
Call
the
in peeps,
thank you
we
to the
love
mods for working so hard doing what you do.
Kick ass every time.
Okay, so next shows will be Space Force News Sunday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel on all platforms. Mary Rodwell interview releases on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Check it out.
My next interview will be on Wednesday with John Paul Rice at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Yes, that's going to be interesting. And the interview with Mary that will be out Monday at 11 is about crystal children and the planetary paradigm shift. So yeah, come check it out, hang out. It's been wonderful hanging out with you guys tonight. Great show, lots of fun. And yeah, we will see you on Sunday for Space Force News.
Much love.
Good night, everybody.